So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching or listening to us from. This is the Naija FC Podcast, where we bring you our raw, honest, unfiltered opinions on all the hottest and latest topics in the world of Nigerian football. As always, I'm your host, AyoT, and I have with me once again my co host.
Smith Layi, thank you again. And that lovely
Yes.
Monday evening.
Thank you very much for joining us. This is another Monday, another episode of the Naija FC Podcast. On today's show, we are going to be talking about a review of the past weekend. As always, we'll talk about the transfer window. The deadline has now passed in most of the top nations in the world. Turkey is still open for a little bit. Saudi Arabia is still open for a little bit. But most of our players have completed transfers with a number of deadline day transfers, I must say. We'll get into all of that on today's show. We'll also talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Eric Shell scored for the games against Rwanda and South Africa. And we will take a closer look into the game against Rwanda coming up in just a couple of days on the 6th of September. We already know that it is make or break for the Super Eagles. We need maximum points in September's qualifiers. So we'll get into that and see what our possibilities are. But yes, like I said, as always, I like to start by doing a review of the past weekend. How did Nigerian players perform for their clubs over the weekend? I'll let you know. We had three goalkeepers to highlight. Hassan Mohammed with 2 saves for Al Ain in a decent performance over there in the UAE. Matthew Yakubu kept a clean sheet for Banska in Slovakia. Allied, we have 4 players. Chijoke Anagboso kept a clean sheet while making 5 saves for Chonomet Odessa, and then Stanley Nwabali made 5 saves, saved the penalty, made a couple errors here and there. For Chippa United, they fell to a defeat in that one. Defenders Felix Agu with 4 tackles, 1 chance created for Werder Bremen. We had Jordan Torunariga with 8 goals, 9 clearances for Hamburg. Paulina Ali, 2 tackles, 6 goals, 8 clearances for Levante. Leon Balogun kept a clean sheet for Aris Limassol. Chidozie Awaziem kept a clean sheet while making 8 clearances for FC Nantes. Michael Ologo with 2 tackles, 2 interceptions, 9 goals, 1 and 13 clearances for Istanbul Spur. In Turkey, Chibuike Nwaewu, 3 goals, 5 interceptions, 9 clearances for Wolfsberger AC in Austria. Over in the midfield, we had Anthony Dennis with 1 goal and a chance created, while also making 4 interceptions and winning 5 goals for Gostepe. We have Matthew Bomadu, who was on target for Ararat Armenia. Frank Onyeka got an assist for Brentford. Anderson City won 7 goals for Diosgori VTK in Hungary. Nelson Okeke, 1 chance created, 3 tackles, 7 goals on for Bohemians Praha in the Czech Republic. Chinwendu John Nkama with 1 goal for Stade Lausanne Ochi in Switzerland. We had Alassane Yusuf, 2 tackles, 2 interceptions, 7 goals, 1 for New England Revolution. Rafael Onyedika with 3 goals, 1 for Club Brugge. Joy Duru was on target for MFK Zalgiris. Daniel Daga came off the bench to score for Molda FK. And Lucky Eze was on target for MFK Karvina. And then for the forwards, Nathan Teller with 1 assist for Bayer Leverkusen. Sani Suleiman scored 2 goals and created 1 chance for AS Trenchin. Emmanuel Ume got an assist for FC Zurich. Rashida Kombi an assist for Bolispor. We had Francis Eze with 1 goal and 1 chance created for Ankara Kekonguchu in Turkey. Daniel Job got an assist for Salzburg. Moses Simon, 1 goal and 1 assist for Paris FC in France. Paul Mukairo scored his first goal for Pogon. We had Gunes Ajayi on target for MK Opatia in Croatia. Peter Itodo scored 1 goal for Metalist in the Ukraine. Hapoel Andrew Idoko scored 1 goal for Hapoel Jerusalem. Anam Imo was on target for FC Rosengard. Victor Osimhen was on target for Galatasaray. Jordan Kadiri was on target for FC Benda. Olamide Adugbe was on target for MFK Zalgiris. Olawale Farayola scored 1 goal for Alashket. Mustafa Issa scored 2 goals for Christiansen BK after coming off the bench. We had Paul Onwachu on target for Trabzonspor. Funsho Bangboye, 1 assist for Hatayspor. Babajinde Akintola, 1 assist, while creating 4 other goal scoring chances for Hull City. And then Chukwudi Igboke, 1 goal and 1 assist for Dynamo České Budějovice in the Czech Republic. So a full weekend of action. Lots of Nigerian players played well. If we missed anybody, my apologies. We tracked over 160 different matches this past weekend, but of course, we're still human. Nigerians are everywhere, so it's possible that we had missed 1 or 2 people. Smith Layi, who impressed you the most over the weekend?
I have to mention Victor Osimhen. I think starts really well in that game, but he grew up to that game and actually would perform well. It's a weekend of we didn't really have the best performance. Like taking 3-0, we're against West Ham. You see, but to be honest with you, IoT, I just think that was it Simon and really probably Victor Osimhen, actually what really impressed me.
No, amazing. I also felt like Moses Simon did very well. He's growing into that talisman role that he played for Nantes, also for Paris FC. Goes in back-to-back games. Also got an assist. They won the match, their first win of the season. You have to give credit to him. I also just want to shout out some relatively, lesser known players that put in good performances. Like Mustafa Issa scored 2 goals for Christiansen, a good performance for him. We had Igbokwe, who is steadily having a good season for Dynamo Cheskid Budovice. He's another former youth team player. Maybe this is a season to break out a little bit and to get a move to a better.
I think he was in Gent before.
Yes, but then he wasn't really playing there. Now, he's doing quite well this season. Paul Onuachu rounded off a beautiful team goal for Trabzonspor. Pass, so has crossed to Onuachu, headed it into the back of the net. I was happy about that. Onuachu scores goals in Turkey. I think we all know this at this point. Paul Mukairo is a player that I like, scored his first goal for Pogon. Of course, Mukairo has played everywhere at this point, Copenhagen, Cardiff, and he's played in Turkey. Now he's in Pogon, and he scored his first goal for them. So I was quite happy about that. Emmanuel Ume continues the steady start to the season with another assist for FC Zurich. Looking forward to seeing how the player progresses. Sani Suleiman scored 2 goals for AS Trenchin. Give him credit for that. Other Nigerian players here and there. Paulina Ali, the female player, she also played quite well for her team in the Spanish Liga F. So good weekend for Nigerian players. Stanley Nwabali did not have the best performance, but he saved the penalty. So hey,
he was off the line.
Next time they should call it as long as
he saved it.
As long as he saved it.
But I see, I don't expect him to put his leg off the line. Honestly, I don't think goalkeepers made that mistake again. It's when the rule started.
Everybody knows the rules now, so they usually don't make the mistake. But look, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But shout out to all Nigerian players, man. We're rooting for you guys. And yes, transition to transfer window. It's been a long summer, man. It's been a long summer. All sorts of speculations, all sorts of rumors, all sorts of deal on, deal off, involving Nigerian players, involving players generally. But a number of Nigerian players have made moves this summer. And I want to just talk about particularly the most recent transfers, but also just remind people of some of the other transfers that we have seen over the summer that people might have forgotten about. So I'll get into, we spoke about Moses Simon. Moses Simon joined Paris FC. Paul Onuachu joined Trabzonspor. We had Victor Osimhen moving to Galatasaray permanently. We had Wilfred Ndidi joining Besiktas. Chidozie Awaziem joining Nantes. Papa Daniel joining NK Celje. Osayi Samuel joining Birmingham City. Sikiru Alimi moved to Algeria joining JS Sora. Leon Balogun joined Aris Limassol. Shemi Ajayi joined Hull City. Akintola joined Hull City. Edna Emade moved to Real Sociedad. Rinsola Babajide moved to AS Roma. Sikiratu Issa moved to Binot Netanya in Israel. Rashid Atajibade moved to Paris Saint-Germain. And then some other ones that happened over this past week that I want us to highlight. The first one that I'll ask you about, Smith Layi, is not a transfer to a club, but is a transfer away from a club. Emmanuel Dennis Bonaventure has left Nottingham Forest via mutual termination of his contract. He's now a free agent, which means that whenever he chooses to, he can sign for any club because he doesn't have to be within the window, considering the fact that he's unaffiliated. What do you think about this decision for Dennis to terminate his contract with Nottingham Forest? Do you think it was a good decision that he made? And what do you think the future bodes for this guy?
You ask me that is it a good decision? I just think that, it must be a good decision for him to terminate that contract because there's no way that Dennis will not be smiling to the bank. There is a mutual termination of contracts. So that means that they have to pay off Emmanuel Dennis. So, it's good for him. the financial part, but career wise is what I don't really understand. It's a guy that we really actually want to rate really highly. Though he's not fan favorite in Nigeria, he missed the AFCON 2021. Due to him not wanting to play for Nigeria in 2022. So it's just a transfer that it's just a move away that is like a mixed feeling. For me, I think he can actually go to a new club now and go and start afresh. Things didn't really work out well for him in Nottingham Forest. So, and the best thing for him is to start afresh. See, you cannot lose twice. If football is not going, there must be pepper in the pocket. So, and I think that it will be smiling to the bank, with some pounds because it's a mutual termination. Because I remember when Kenneth Omero terminated his contract with Kasim Pasa in Turkey, he said it now that there was his mind to the bank. So, if so, I know that Dennis too will be smiling to the bank. So, for me, it's getting money, but I think that he needs to have like a rethink. You don't want to play this football, you don't want to start singing, anything. Just if you look for what he wants to do, I just think that he needs to start afresh.
Similar says start singing. Iman is like you said, it's not in the good books of a lot of Nigerian fans for several things that happened. We know the penalty that he fought
That's
for,
incident,
that he
yes.
missed, the other incidents that he has had at his different clubs. You rightly mentioned
not coming to AFCON.
You rightly mentioned, yes, when he chose to stay at his club rather than come and play for the country, so he hasn't shown that commitment to Nigerian fans. In turn, Nigerian fans haven't shown the love back to him. He's had a tough time of recent, but now he's unaffiliated. Like you said, whenever a contract is terminated like that, the player would have gotten a sizable payoff. I have another player that I spoke to that told me that his club had offered to pay him 80% of his contract to leave, but he told them no and said, you have to pay me 100% or I'm not going anywhere. So whenever players get contract termination, they always go home with a sizable buck and then they can go and sign for another club elsewhere. So I really don't know what the future holds for Emmanuel Dennis, to be honest. Like, I don't know where he's going to sign. I don't think any Premier League club is going to take the chance on him. Maybe he goes to the Championship, maybe he goes to Ligue 1, maybe he goes to Turkey, or maybe somebody in France or goes back to Belgium where he once was a star and tries to make it happen there. But I'm wishing him all the best. It's going to be an interesting one to see what happens in his future. I don't know if he's ever going to be in the Nigerian Super Eagles picture again, but at least, I don't like to see Nigerian players not having the best time. So I really hope that things work out for him. I really do hope so.
Yeah. I wish him the best too.
Thank you, Environment. Environment says, I am pumped up for today's conversation. Yes, you should be pumped up because we have an exciting one going on at the moment. He says Layi is a real comedian.
no, it's going to abuse me too. So I'm just trying to. I know that it's more of an entertainer too. It entertains and things like that. So that's why I think that we're looking at career towards that area too.
So let me also ask you another transfer that happened over this past week. Gabriel Osho, I've mentioned his name a couple of times when talking about potential defender options that we have. But Gabriel Osho just made a move that personally made me shocked. He left AJ Auxerre in the French Ligue 1 to sign with Cardiff City in the English Ligue 1, from Ligue 1 to Ligue 1. Ligue 1, but a different kind of Ligue 1 entirely. Leaving a top 5 league in the world to join the third tier of English football. Help me understand, what could have been the reason behind his decision? Is it a family thing? Is Cardiff going to pay him some millions that he's not going to get paid at Auxerre? Like, what do you think can be the reason for this transfer?
Everything you have mentioned, like he's going, according to reports, he's going to be getting, a lot more in England. They pay more. He's going to be getting a lot more in England, and he's also homesick. These any boys don't like to play abroad. Except those that are really ambitious among them. According to a reliable source, he left Luton Town to play in the top division for Super League opportunity. And when the Super League opportunity is not forthcoming, back to he just renewed his contract. With us actually what left. So he's just someone that he cannot really handle that. Why can't I? I'm waiting for opportunities not coming. They just picked you to their Awazim. I just joined the league. Not quite long. So and some guy is injured. Will I even get opportunity? he's going to come back very soon. So for me, I just think that it's both. He wants to be close to his family and also, also a very big payday. So, for me, with due respect to him, I don't think he's a player I really rate, that much. But you know that in Nigeria now, we like anything is foreign law and things like that. I just think that Awazem is a proper better defender than him. Awazem can play in the back three and the back four, but I don't trust Osho in the back four system. So I just think that he's back to his level, and I think that that's his level. IoT. Let him go and be, at least he's in Cardiff there. His only trade, I will take him to London if there's anything going on in London. So any boys we always like to actually stay around there, around.
You say that's his level. So are we implying that Cardiff City is a higher level or similar level to Auxerre?
No, I just think that if you look at, it's not a standout player. I just think that even in playing that Auxerre, it's going to be hard for a higher, better French side to come for him. It's just that level. It's just that level. So, and he can play in the championship. Don't get me wrong. He can play very well in the championship. But I just think that I think Cardiff City, they have financial war chest. So they can afford to pay him more money. So and I think he has worked with the manager before. So the manager knows him very well. So I think that he wants to go there. So it's just that about ability. It's not about Auxerre and Cardiff City. It's about his own ability. We've seen some players that played for Auxerre and they move on to higher. But I don't see him moving. I just think that is just his. It's like a player that if not because of that system, I don't think he'll be starting for Auxerre. I think it's going to be that. Is it Akbaragbo that will be playing alongside Mensah? So it will be very hard for him. So I'm happy he's back to England. I think mental health is the most important thing. He's back around his family and it's good.
Does that completely remove him from the Super Eagles conversation going forward?
Bye bye to national team. If a player in the championship can even get a call up, what about you in League One? Come on, it's bye bye.
Wow. Okay. Shout out to Gabriel Osho. Wishing him all the best in this season. Your boy, Smith Layi, you're one of the people that big this boy up the most, and unfortunately for him, it's not your fault by any means. But things haven't gone so well for him over his career since making the initial move from Belgium. I'm talking about Gift Orban. Gift Orban has now signed with Hellas Verona in the Italian Serie A on a season-long loan from Hoffenheim. He only just joined Hoffenheim in January. We thought, that was the chance for him to revive himself. Played a few games, scored a couple of goals, and then the performances tailed off from there. And in 6 months, somehow they've decided that they're tired of him and they don't want him anymore. The deal includes an option for them to make the transfer permanent at the end of the season. So it's kind of like an audition. They want to see how well it does. They also want to see how well they do in the Serie A before they, make it permanent. What do you think about this move for Gift Orban? Is this a good step for him? Do you think that Gift Orban can go back to the player that we all thought that he was when he was lighting it up for Ghent?
He's a cat with 9 lives. Who will have the opportunity to play in the German Bundesliga, French league, failed in the French league, moved to German Bundesliga, failed there in the Serie A. Now the competition for that failure next is going maybe probably in Spain or in England. So he's just a very lucky player. You said it before now that for a player to move from that Lyon to Hoffenheim, this guy is lucky. He said this. I remember when he moved. He said this guy is very lucky. He is lucky. So I expect him to even look at himself and do well. He has been trying to test what I know the leagues. Maybe we end up in MPFL, but I'm joking. I just think that he needs to be settled now and perform well. I rate him highly because I believe he's a very good player. But what I cannot control is character. The first time I saw him comment on your post here, it's like he said, show. Those type of things. So you have been reading this thing for a while. You can't even comment. He said, don't mind them. Show. So, it's just a character. If a player got that potential and just can't match that with character, it's going to be very hard for a player to actually want to do well. And I think that one of Orban's problem is basically indiscipline, And I think that if you get that one right, I think he's going to be a very, very good player. But time is really running out.
I think with Gift Orban, no one can doubt that he's a talented player. The talent is there. We've seen it. You know, I remember even when he was making an initial move from Ghent, one of the things that I was saying was that he's very raw, but he needs to be refined.
Mm-hmm.
And that refinement does not seem to have come, even though we're now like what 3 years past when he was at Ghent. By now, you'd have thought that he would have adapted to playing at a serious level. You know, and like you mentioned, character is such a big thing. You know, the way you act off the field, the things that you say, the things that you do, they all matter. These things matter at the highest level. You have to be professional, and he has had some issues with that. This is a boy that some years ago we're talking about him being in the Super Eagles and playing.
Arsenal.
You know, we're talking about Arsenal exactly, where he went to now make a silly comment that he doesn't want to go to
Arsenal.
to a team like Arsenal. You know, but it's just unfortunate. And you rightly said, man, I like that the description that you gave, that he's like a cat with 9 lives, because you know usually is the foreigners that fail upwards, but he seems to be failing and still be getting a good opportunity. You
Yeah.
know, didn't do well in France, got a move
Mhm.
to Germany. Didn't do well in Germany, now he's got a move to Italy. If he doesn't do well in Italy now, next thing you hear next year that he's joining Villarreal in La Liga. Then
Liga.
that one does not work now. They will say, okay, he's going to
To
Aston
Wolves.
Villa or
To
something
Wolves.
in the Premier League. So somehow he's going through all the top 5 leagues, and people continue to take a chance on him. I think that speaks to his natural ability and talent. People
Yes.
see that even though he's not working out, this boy is talented, this boy is good, and they want to believe that maybe they are the ones that can get him right. You know,
Mhm.
it's like if maybe there's this babe now that she has dated 1, 2, 3 guys, and you
Mhm.
know that this babe she has cheated on all of them, but
Mhm.
you just believe, say, if Nami she not go cheat,
Yeah. Yeah.
if Nami she not go cheat, she will be
Yeah.
loyal to me. That's why everybody's
Mhm.
taking a chance on him, and I really hope that things work out for him. I like him. He's a talented boy. I think he's one of those players, you know, that you would just say needs to lock in, needs to focus. Enough of the distraction. Yeah, you've done everything that you need to do. You've bought all your drip, you've done all your tattoos, you've had your phone on social media. It's time for you to lock in. I know he's young, I know he's Gen Z, but you need to focus and realize that you're a professional football player. You are getting paid a lot of money to do your job, so you have to do your job well. And Hellas Verona is not going to be easy. That's
Mhm.
the truth, because they're not a top team. They're not a
Mhm.
team that is competing. Chances might not be easy to come by, but when you do get your chances, make sure you take your chances so that whatever happens to your club, you can hold your head high and see
Yeah.
that you delivered. Nobody
Yeah.
will be able to look at you and say you were a flop or you were a bad
Mhm.
signing. I'm really
Mhm.
rooting for him. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I will watch some of his games this season. I'm not going to be watching Hellas Verona week in, week out. But when they play Inter, when they play Juve, when they play, maybe
Atlanta.
Atalanta, my word, that's if Lookman is playing for Atalanta, you know.
Mhm.
But we have to wait and see. Either way, I'm rooting for him. You know, I really hope that things go well. And yeah, he just joined Hellas Verona after the international break. He'll be in line to make his debut.
Mhm.
Okay. We have a comment here from Bobby. He says exactly, the urban thing is so confusing. Is it a culture shock that is affecting him? Like, do you think it's culture shock?
I don't think so. I just think that is this. I don't think it's culture talk. I just think that he needs to get his head right. That he is a footballer. Footballer needs more discipline. He needs to actually put their heads down. So I just think that he got a lot of good people around him now that can actually advise him. So I think it's not really a culture shock. I just think that he's talking to himself and knowing to get his inner man to do better.
Hmm. All right. That's that on Gift Urban. Another striker, another transfer. This one a permanent transfer from CD9 to CD33. Cyril Kolawole Desas has joined Greek club Panathinaikos on a deal until 2028. Cyril Desas, of course, last played for Rangers FC and was quite a good player for them. They signed Igamane. Igamane started to bench him a little bit. Now him and Igamane have left together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Desas joining Panathinaikos. I saw that when we made the post, some people say, Panathi, waiting, which one is Panadol? Which blah, 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 blah. You know, Panathinaikos finished second in the Greek league last season. They are going to be playing in the Europa League this year. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a team that has ambitions to win their league and to compete and go as far as possible in Europe. Smith Layi, this move for Cyril Dessers, do you think this is a good step for him? And just before you answer, to give people further context, the Greek league is ranked, I think, 11th or 12th in Europe, whereas the Scottish league is 20th in Europe. So on paper, the Greek league is a better league than the Scottish league. But
Mhm.
like, what are your thoughts on this transfer?
It's a money transfer,
Hmm.
and it's good for him. Don't forget that Jesus is no longer a young player. You know, he had taste playing the Serie A, played in the Dutch league, playing the Belgian league, playing the Scottish league. Where is again? That's has come on. So he wants to try new thing, and don't forget the abuse, the curses that they rained on him when he was in Rangers too. So for me, I think he's like a new start for him. You know, he's going to a Greek, a country that you know you enjoy your life there.
Hmm.
Greece is known for its very beautiful, atmosphere and everything. So apart from living the chilly, cold weather in Scotland, he's going to Greece to enjoy money and also to enjoy the weather there. So I'm happy for him, and I hope that this thing will work out well. They'll be playing the Europa League. They beat Shaka on penalty, to actually what play in the Europa League. So to tell you that they are not really a small team. So we compete in the Europa League just like Rangers. We compete also in the Europa League, but at least it's better leaving a team that just lost 6-0. Are we? So,
It's a
so
club bridge.
the club route, I think it's better. So, but because there's more visibility in Scotland, let's be honest ourselves, than
Than
Greece.
in
So
Greece.
that's why people think that maybe Scotland is highly rated than not play against Kima Rock. Have you heard of Kima? No, no.
Hmm.
The Greek league is actually what highly rated, but I think they show the Scottish league more than the Greek league. That's the reason why a lot of people did not really think that it's a very good move. But for me, I think it's a very good move, and I think that it can actually do well and perform well.
Hmm. I mean, you're right. The major thing is the visibility. I mean,
Mm-hmm,
Scotland is still in the UK,
mm-hmm,
so they still have the press, they have the buzz, they have the excitement. But the reality of it is that the Scottish League is not a top league by any means. What do you really see other than the year that Rangers went to the Europa League final? You
mm-hmm.
don't really see much of these teams in Europe. And a lot of the teams in the league are very weak teams. I remember speaking to a player who was playing for Livingston back in the day, and he told me he's like, see, the top Scottish teams are like mid-level championship teams.
Hmm.
That's what the guy said. And that was a player that was in the Scottish league. So it's not the strongest league in the world. Now, Greek league, yes, there are some weak teams in Greece. There are some teams that you breeze past, but at least they have top teams like the Olympiacoses of this world, the AEK Athens, they have the Panathinaikoses, and some of the other teams that are going to be competing, PAOK, that are
Oh
going to be
yes.
competing. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does. Like you said, it's potentially a money move. I think, after being a journeyman and playing in several leagues around the world at 30, is allowed to say, what, let me go and enjoy myself. He just got married, I think was it last year. Let
Mm-hmm.
him take his beautiful wife, let them go enjoy the Greek islands, enjoy the Greek
Mm-hmm.
weather,
The
enjoy the
common
Greek
days.
food, enjoy themselves and make some money. So I'm not mad at it at all. I'm not mad at it at all. I think that this does not diminish his chances of playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I still think that he ranks in the pecking order, probably second or third right now, and it's for the other people to really show that they deserve to be there ahead of him before we can say anything about him not being in the league. But based on the strength of his league, his league is still stronger than some other leagues that players are playing in, even though some of our players still have stepped up in their league this this deadline day. But yes, we're happy about that for Cyril Dessers. I'm wishing him all the very best, and we look forward to seeing him in the colors of Panathinaikos. Shout out to Cyril Dessers. Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Another player that has made a transfer this past week. This is another deadline day transfer. Talking about strikers that have upgraded themselves. We have Tolu Emmanuel Arokodare. It is tea time in Wolverhampton. The 24-year-old has joined Wolverhampton Wanderers FC in the English Premier League from KRC Genk. After finishing as the top goal scorer in Genk classes and winning the Ebony Show Award, Arokodare is taking his talents to the UK, to United Kingdom, to England to play among some of the finest and best strikers in the world. He's joining the team potentially playing alongside or competition with Jurgen Strand Larsen, and this is a team that has started the season struggling, but are hoping to be able to steady themselves and have a good year. Like, what do you think about Arokodare to Wolves? How do you think he's going to fare in the English Premier League?
So he's a guy that really wants to join. He wants to move to England. He thinks that he can do well in England, and he's got his move. And he's fortunate to actually get that move. Because on paper, actually did better. In that league than him, and he couldn't get the move. But now he got that move, and kudos to that actually work on that contract. For me, the move is like of the upward trajectory because I don't think Genk is gonna do anything this season. I don't see them doing anything this season. So I think that he's going to be playing against Arsenal, against the big teams in the Premier League. So I think that there's going to be more visibility too. So a good season, like a 10 or 15 goal season, for Arokodare, can take him to a top 6 club side in England. So that is it. You just have to show that you can do it. When you show you can do it, people will gamble on you because I put it in the Premier League. Look at Mohamed Kudus. Look at Brendan Johnson for Nottingham Forest. So they got the move and they deserved, when they actually were performing well, even for a lower team. So for me, it's a good move for Tolu Arokodare, and I wish him the very, very best of luck. This is the type of move I want for a young striker like this. So now he can know that, okay, if I perform well now in this league, I think Super Eagles call up with regular thing. It's not as if are they calling me enough this time around. It's going to be like, where's my letter? That is it. So I'm happy for him. And you just join the likes of like Yakuba Igbeni, the great player that played in the Premier League before for Nigeria, Kanwako. So he's lucky. At least now, the way it is now, he's going to play the Premier League even ahead of before Victor Osimhen and Victor Boniface. So tell you how life is. So well done to Arokodare. I wish him the very best of luck.
Yeah. Tolu Arokodare to Wolverhampton Wanderers. I'm happy for him. Congratulations to him. This is a good move in my opinion. I think he fits into the Wolverhampton Wanderers squad quite well. In the past when he was reportedly linked to Bayern Munich, and I said I didn't think that he was a Bayern Munich player. Some people took offense to that. He took offense to that. But this is exactly the kind of move that I envision for him. I envision for him going to a team that is not a top team in the world, but still playing at the competitive level. And I'm happy that he's been able to get this kind of move. He described himself as a player that has the physicality, that is tall, he's strong, he's fast, and he believes that he has the tools to play well in English Premier League. And I honestly think that playing for a team like this that has other players that have done well in the past that have a similar archetype, I think that it can work out well for him. The coach knows how to use a player like him. It's all about whether or not he can deliver, and I'm going to trust him to deliver. I think that when he gets opportunities, Arokodare is a good finisher. His hold-up play is decent. Yes, he might have to improve some things like his movement off the ball. He might have to get used to playing at that faster pace because the Premier League pace is different. When you touch the ball, before you know it, the defender is right on you. Little things like that. But this is the kind of step up that we want to see from our Nigerian players. You do well in Belgium, you go to the English Premier League. If you do well at Wolverhampton Wanderers, you get to a team like Aston Villa, you get to a team like Newcastle, and then from there, who knows, if you even just blow it out of the water, you might be signing for a top 5, top 6 club. So I'm really, really happy for him. I really, really think that this makes the Super Eagles squad that much better, makes the competition that much sweeter. Everybody knows that everybody is playing at a competitive level week in, week out. And if he does get a call up, people cannot doubt his his deservedness of the call up because we are going to be watching him week in, week out. And Arokodare is someone who likes the spotlight, he likes the media, he likes showing off his drip, he likes the attention. So playing in a league like England will fit well for him because there's a lot of attention in England. But it can also be negative attention if you're not delivering. So that is the most important thing. He needs to play well, he needs to deliver, he needs to score goals. I am setting a target of 10 goals and 5 assists for him this season. I think that if he hits that number, without a doubt, everybody will say Arokodare had a good first season. Of course, it depends on whether or not he starts, how many games he starts, how many games he plays, and things like that. But I think that that kind of number would be undoubtedly a good number for him. Depending on his game time, if he gets less than that, you can still say he did well in the minutes that he played. But I'm sure even he would want to go and do well, considering the fact that he's coming in with the reputation of being the best goal scorer in Belgium. So I'm looking forward to it. In my opinion, I think this transfer, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 in my rating. I think it's a very, very, very good move. And I'm excited to see what happens for him. Tolu Arokodare to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Good luck. Okay. Yes, I see the comments from you guys, and I've also seen the post from Sevilla FC. Officially, Kelechi Iheanacho's contract has been terminated. Mutual agreement to terminate his contract makes Kelechi a free agent, gives him the ability to sign with whatever club, in whatever country at whatever time that he wishes. Just like we were saying about Dennis, Kelechi would have gotten a sizable payout to be able to terminate his Sevilla contract, and now he can join any team. Who knows? He might be back in the Premier League because they can sign him now, or he can be in France, he can be in Spain, he can be in Italy, or he can even go to Saudi if he wishes. But yes, obviously, Iheanacho hasn't had the best of times since joining Sevilla. He went on loan to Middlesbrough, didn't have the best of time. Now his contract has been terminated. I wish him all the best, man. Iheanacho, I don't like to disrespect Kelechi because Kelechi has done well in his career. The career that Kelechi has had, I'm telling you that people like Arokodare will be hoping and wishing that they can have the kind of career that he has had, playing in the Premier League consistently for a number of years, scoring goals, winning the FA Cup, and also was a good servant of Nigeria up until the time that Igalo and Osimhen really came into the scene. So I don't want to knock him and make it sound as if he's a wasted talent or anything like that. No, he has had a good run. Now is not the best of times for him, but he should be proud of what he has achieved, and he should aim to achieve some more, or just gonna make money and enjoy himself somewhere. But yes, Smith, like, any thoughts on Kelechi Iheanacho's contract termination at Sevilla?
I think that's the best thing because I think they struggle to actually move him on. This season throughout, he did well. He did well. He went to work on himself during summer. This now fitter, slimmer. And but I just think that after that performance, I don't think the fans really accepted him. They didn't take after him again. They just realized that they have to actually move on from him. So I'm really happy that at least he's free now. It's not as if they're going to banish him to like a second team to go and be played. He's free now, so he can join whatever he actually wants to join. So maybe let's see where it's going to actually end up. But I think he'll be smiling to the bank. Maybe he's going to be able to buy more stock. More clothes. So I'm just joking. It's a win-win for him.
Yeah, yeah. It's a win-win, and hopefully he finds a home for himself, and it's a home that he enjoys playing his football in, and he gets back to the best of his powers. Shout out to Kelechi Iheanacho. Okay, let's keep it going. It's like another transfer, another deadline day transfer, another.
Let me say something.
Okay.
That will allow him to join Celtic because Brother Rogers is his coach.
Mm.
If you remember, for Leicester City. So he's looking for a way to bring him to Scotland. It's not going to be bad, but let's wait how it pans out.
Okay, okay. Another deadline day transfer, another Premier League player, another Super Eagles player. Our one and only Samuel Chukwueze has joined Fulham FC, now the Niger FC of the English Premier League. He's joining on a season-long loan from
Mhm.
AC Milan. He's going to be teaming up with Alex Iwobi and Calvin Bassey. Chukwueze from Villarreal to AC Milan to Fulham. Also now is playing in another top 5 league. In fact, he's playing in the number 1 league in Europe. Samuel Chukwueze, what do you think about this transfer? Do you think Chukwueze is going to impress and have a good time in England?
I will have say it's a downgrade. I don't. As I say, it's a move. It's a transfer that on a downward trajectory. But I just think that because of the state of AC Milan currently now, it's a very good move for him. It's a very very good move for him. So this one will give him the opportunity to play in the Premier League, to play for clubs, to play against teams like Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, on a regular basis. And a good performance for Samuel Chukwueze in the Premier League. We put on the spotlight. You see me probably teams like Aston Villa, Newcastle, even Chelsea, trying to actually justify for his signature. I'm happy for this movement because under Massimiliano Allegri, the current coach of AC Milan, I think he's playing the 3-5-2 formation. I don't understand how Samuel Chukwueze can fit into that formation. So I'm happy that he got a move now to form. And if Marco Silva, actually signs you, I think it's, there's something that he observed about you. That's why he signed you. Look at the way he did with that. It's like it's Alex Iwobi's second father. I wouldn't. Iwobi got so many fathers. From Arsene Wenger to
Frank Lampard.
to Frank Lam. No, Arsene Wenger to Frank Lampard to Ancelotti. Remember, Ancelotti getting his comment on social media saying he's going to. So he got so many fathers. He's a guy that is very loyal to his coach. So I'm happy that Chukwueze will join him. I would love to see, Chukwueze and Iwobi combined on a regular basis. Just like we for Ayibade and Jennifer. So if you have two people combined together in the final half, so we can see all those 1-2 balls at the edge of the area, for Super Eagles. Then we go kill them during AFCON.
I love it. I think this Chukwueze to Fulham move, one of the things that excites me the most, like you rightly mentioned, is the fact that Marco Silva wants him. Marco Silva is a good coach. By all standards, he's a good coach. I like him. And we've seen how he has worked on some players like Alex Iwobi, and has made them into better players.
Even Pereira, that's this thing, yeah.
So I look at it and I say, maybe this coach can make Chukwueze into a consistent performer. He can improve his decision making because Chukwueze has the ability. I don't think that's in question. That he has the ability. A lot of the time, it's his decision making, knowing the right final ball to play, knowing when to shoot, when to pass, when to keep dribbling, things like that he falters on. So I'm really, really believing that maybe Marco Silva can get him to that level that we need him to be at. I like this move. I'm going to rate this move a 7 out of 10. Yes, on paper, Fulham is a smaller club than AC Milan, but he wasn't playing at AC Milan. He wasn't having a good time, and he needed a new step, he needed a new direction. And Fulham might just be that step that he needs. If he does well in Fulham on loan, they will sign him permanently, or at the very least, he will advertise himself to another club, because I don't think it's an obligation to buy. I think it's an option. So I'm really, really hoping that everything goes well for him. And the potential of him and Iwobi combining that 1-2 tandem, it will be on the left, Chukwueze on the right. It will be through the middle, Chukwueze on the right. Both of them playing through the middle. Who knows what possibilities are there? If they can build that chemistry, they can build that connection. When they come to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, potentially they can, show themselves and combine well, and it can be a good impact for us. I'm really, 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 really happy about this one. Another thing that makes me happy is simply the fact that it is another Nigerian player in the English Premier League, playing in a top league in the world, in the strongest division in the world. I am really looking forward to it. Samuel Chukwueze is a very talented, very skilled player. This is a chance for him to show himself to be at another level, for him to show that he can still compete with the best players in the world. I'm really, 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 really happy. I'm really, really happy. I have some comments here. Viral Moment says, I'm hopeful Silva will give him time to express himself, especially with the creative outlets at Fulham. Yeah, I really hope so. He says, Iwobi is a very likable player, to be honest. I think his commitment is what puts him on that kid. Yes, Iwobi is one of those players that whatever you ask him to do, whatever you ask him to play, he's going to do it for you. Real cases, Sam will struggle with the pace and physicality of the English Premier League. I don't necessarily think he would struggle. Yes, there's always the potential for any player to struggle with the pace and physicality. The physicality part, I disagree, because he might not be the strongest, but look at, if you have the skill, you have the skill. Look at this Chelsea boy, Esteval. Esteval is a skinny kid, but come and bully him now if he will not embarrass you on that field. Look at what he did to our own
Cook our brother.
Our own Calvin Bassey as well. So yes, you might say, Chukwueze is not the most physically imposing guy, but if he has the skill, by the time he does 1 or 2 to 1 defender, every defender will know that okay, when you're playing against this guy, you cannot just be rushing, you cannot just want to use gra because he can get past you. So it's all about how Chukwueze is able to beat his man. And I mean, at this stage in his career, I'm sure he has played against all sorts of players, the fast ones, the strong ones, the dirty ones, the very smart ones, and he should have learned 1 or 2 things about, okay, if he's playing against a fullback that is way more physical than him, what does he do? If he's playing against a fullback that is faster than him, what does he do? By now we should have those ideas in his head. And again, he has a good coach in Marco Silva that can teach him the right things to do in the right moments. I don't think that if he struggles, I don't think it will be because of the pace and physicality of the league. I think it's because of maybe something like just his inconsistency or other factors that can come up. So, real okay, thank you for that comment, but I think I am going to have to disagree with you on that one.
Me too. Because what about Obama? That is like a drumstick.
Mm-hmm.
And he's performing very well, No, I think Chukwueze just need to go and join Alex Obi's, in his parents' house, and go and take some of his recovery food. Chukwueze will buckle up. It's recovery food now. Abacha, and that one will help. So for me, I think Chukwueze is one of the players that beat for the Premier League.
Okay, we're looking forward to that one. Moving forward, Adedoton says AyoT, yeah, so funny. Premier League #1 in the world. No one English clubs. Again, I don't know why people try to argue this thing. The Premier League is #1 league in the world. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't mean that every Premier League club can beat every other club in the world. But it's the biggest league, it's the strongest league, it's the most competitive league. I don't know why people try to argue it. You might not like the hype that the league gets, but it is the top league in the world.
And AyoT, since the new format of the Champions League, Europa and Conference League now, the Premier League in the Conference League will likely win it. The Premier League in the Europa League will likely win it. So it's just as if you want Getafe against Peter Palace. With due respect, I don't think Getafe will get a chance. Well, I know we're going to talk about the player now.
Ramen says, I'm looking forward to Chukwueze versus Cucurella. Say Cucurella, they handle,
don't be like Gary Neville,
any winger, but he will have some interesting battles, and those battles, iron sharpens iron. So hopefully Chukwueze is iron, and those other players can sharpen him, and they don't just completely crush him. But it's going to be very interesting to see how he develops as a player. He's at the age where he should be getting to his best, playing his best football. So I'm really, really looking forward to that one. So let's talk about another Nigerian player, another transfer that has happened on deadline day. Not in the Premier League. We'll end with the Premier League. This is in German Bundesliga. I'm talking about Victor Boniface. Boniface, of course, his move to AC Milan collapsed after the medicals, and there were concerns about would he stay at Bayer Leverkusen, would he go elsewhere? And today we've heard that SV Werder Bremen have signed him on a season-long loan from Bayer Leverkusen. Werder Bremen, their striker right now, when you look at his numbers, doesn't compare to a player like Victor Boniface. So I'm believing that Boniface should and would be able to go and walk into the starting 11 at Werder Bremen. With the struggles that he has had in the last season because of injuries, because of his failed transfer to Al Nassr, losing his place in the team, do you think that this is a good move for Boniface? He's still in the same league, is in the same division, but he's going to a quote-unquote smaller team than his current team. How do you think this can work out for him?
Are you sure it's a smaller team?
Well, of recent.
Okay, of recent, but because this Leverkusen, they can sell their soul now. But let me just look at Boniface. Initially, what I prepared to say about this transfer, I will not say it. I just go in a different direction. This is a transfer that when I heard that they are looking for Victor Boniface, I pray that it doesn't work out, because I think that he's a player that was linked to a £50 million move to the Premier League. If you remember, he's a player that was valued around £50 million. But look at what is happening. He was on the verge of joining Al-Nassr in January. To the move to AC Milan collapsed. So I was like, oh my all this cannot actually what happened. But I think that he needs love. He needs where he can start afresh. Most of his friends that they really vibes together in Bayern Leverkusen, they're not there any longer. Players like Jerome Frimpong, players like Adli, Granit Xhaka, that they were together. The guys that are
even Florian Wirtz.
Even Florian Wirtz, that they are together, they already left. So, it's unfortunate that he actually is living for a team that is nowhere, as you said earlier, good compared to Bayer Leverkusen. But it's good for him to have a start. This is like a safe career move, for Victor Boniface, where he can show his key again. And don't forget that it's still the same league. If he performs very well, similar to Onyeka's move, from Brentford to Augsburg, just to prove himself and get more playing time. So a good performance for Werder Bremen will put me on the spotlight, so that other people can also see that this guy is good. He's good enough. So for me, what I can say is I wish him best of luck. Was I just think that with due respect to Bayern Leverkusen, to Werder Bremen, I think Boniface is better than Werder Bremen. But this is just a safe to so move, like similar to Victor Osimhen's move to Galatasaray last season. Not this one though. I'm talking about the low move then. That's all hope lost. Just move to Gala. So it's similar to Boniface moves to.
Victor Boniface to SV Werder Bremen. I like it for him because he needs a new challenge. He needs a team that he can revive himself, that he can reestablish himself, that he can prove the doubters wrong. Things have not gone too well for him in the past year at Bayer Leverkusen, and people have started to talk too much. People have started to talk about him like he is not a good player, like he is not the same player who led his team to the title unbeaten, like he is not the same player who was top goal scorer in the Europa League, who led his team to the Europa League final. Like he's not the same player that was tipped to go and be one of the stars of the AFCON before he suffered an unfortunate injury before the tournament. The disrespect for him has become so much. Some people will say, oh, well, it's because he's not scoring goals for Nigeria. But then disrespect has passed levels that I think he should have gotten to. Yes, you might talk about his off the field antics, playing on social media, always being on, live stream, etc. But those things are not football things. His football, he is still a very skilled, very technical player. I used to say that he was one of the most technical players that we have, because what he can do on the ball, a lot of players just don't have the same level of skill. Now, talent is not enough. We all know this. At the professional level, consistency, mentality, discipline, professionalism, all those things also play a role. And I really hope that at Werder Bremen, he can put his head down, knock on wood, he can stay injury free, because injury is one of the biggest distractions in a player's career. He can stay injury free and he can score goals again, score 15 Bundesliga goals, score 5 goals in the cup competition. Show us that you are still the player that we saw in Belgium in the first season at Bayer Leverkusen. You are still that player. When you look at his Bayer Leverkusen career, his goal return is still very good. His assist return is still very good. I'm going to rate this transfer a 6.5 out of 10. I think, obviously, Werder Bremen is not a big club. It's not a very good club right now. So you cannot rate the transfer too highly. But for a player like Boniface, I think is what he needs. No spotlight. He's not going to a team that everybody's going to be watching him week in, week out and saying, did he score? Did he not score? But he has an opportunity to light it up over there and put the spotlight on himself and on his club. And if he does well after this season, he'll be joining a bigger team. He'll be joining a better team. Or maybe even the Bayer Leverkusen will be begging him to stay. I'm excited for this move. I want to see how he does, and I wish him all the very, very best. You guys that watch me know that I am big on Victor Boniface. I like him as a football player. I think he's a very good football player, and he has been through a lot. And I'm happy that he seems to have a little bit of respite now. It's all about how he performs. He needs to prove everybody wrong. This is a big opportunity for him. Let us see how it goes. Bobby was asking, what do you guys make of the Boniface move? I hope that we have answered your question. Now, I hope we've answered your question. Well, yes, Victor Boniface. It's going to be an exciting one. Okay, and then finally, let's wrap up with a move to the English Premier League for a Nigerian player. We're talking about a player that, Smith, you've been big on since last season, earned his way to the Super Eagles of Nigeria and has now played his way to the English Premier League. Chrysanthus Uche. Look at this picture, man. He's already looking clean. He has not even stayed 3 days in London yet. He's already looking clean. He's looking like a fresh guy. Young Chrysanthus Uche has joined Crystal Palace in the English Premier League. Is a season-long loan with a buy option, a mandatory buy option. So next season, they're going to make the transfer permanent. Smith Layi, what do you think about this move? And how do you think Chrysanthus will do in the Premier League?
I did not expect him to move this summer. But Gaddafi want to sell. And Palace want to buy. When you hire a willing seller and you have a willing buyer, what is, there's nothing left now. So, and I think that's actually what Ohio is actually what is moving. If you look at his last game against Sevilla, last game was it against Sevilla? I think they won against Sevilla. He went to meet the Getafe fans and he was nearly crying just to tell them, like I think the move's already on the cards then. So I wish him well. I wish him well. It's a very good move. It's a chance for him to show himself, early in the Premier League. I can tell you that he get the move to Italian clubs, Como, AS Roma, for Premier League. So I'm happy for him, and I think that he's built for the Premier League. I know that yesterday when we had these conversations about he's not going to go there to bench Mateta. He will not replace a village. See, different people, different skill sets. The way Luka Modric plays the number 10 role is different from the way Kevin De Bruyne plays it. So everybody cannot be a village. The way Luka Bakio, the Sevilla guy, plays the right wing, and the way Sabachuku plays is different. But they are both effective in different areas. So it depends on how the coach wants to use him. But for me, I think that is it Gassler? Oliver Glasner? Oli Glasner is a guy that relies on data. And for him to sign a player, he knows exactly what he wants to get from that player. What I'm sure of is that Uche will not give him a cold shoulder like McGuay. Uche will respect him, and Uche will give him 100%. For me, I see Uche spending a season or two there, and the guy will not call it down. The sky is in fact the guy is a very, very good player, and this is not the ceiling, there's more to come. Because if you go and check him during summer, does he have support belly? He worked on himself. In fact, you can actually see his face. He's even more built, like worked on himself. We can see the fitness level to tell you that he's disciplined. All those things are not disciplined. That's why you see people pregnant on the streets. So for him to be on holidays and still work on himself, come on, this guy is disciplined, and I think he's going to do very well.
Chrisantos Uche to Crystal Palace. I love this move for him. I honestly do. I love this move for him. I thought he was a better fit for Wolves when Wolves initially wanted him, but Crystal Palace is a much better club than Wolverhampton Wanderers. So I'm happy that he's ended up here. I'm very interested in seeing how Oliver Glasner chooses to use him, the kind of role that he plays. They've been playing a 3-4-2-1, 3-4-3 kind of formation this season. I think Mateta remains their number one striker. I think Ismail Assar remains their second option. Can Uche become the third option for them? That's the big question that I have in my head. The club announced him as a forward. Some people have been saying it's only you that calls him a forward, because when I made my post on social media, I said Super Eagles forward Chrisantos Uche. But the club that signed him said they have signed exciting forward Chrisantos Uche. So that makes me have a hint of the way they see him. Now, maybe in training, they decide to convert him into a midfielder. Who knows? It happened to Joel Linton. It can happen to anybody. But the club signed him as a forward. So maybe he takes the spots that Daichi Kamada played in their last match, and he can provide them a different type of skill sets from that position. Working hard for the team, driving the ball forward, holding up the play for them, and still getting his fair share of goals and assists. It can be a nice setup for him. I really, really think that he's a good player. This is a guy that only 2 years ago was signed for €800. 800 euros is what they signed him for, Quetta. Then they sold him for, I think, was it 500k to Getafe, and now he's going for over 20 million to Crystal Palace. The rise of Chrisantos Uche is very similar to the rise of Ashake. From nowhere, you are almost at the top of your level of your game. And if he does well in Crystal Palace 1 or 2 seasons, like you said, we can see him at a much bigger team. This transfer for me is a solid 8.5 out of 10. The only thing that could have made it better is if he was joining Liverpool or Man City. But I think that this is a very, very good step for him. This is a team that can push him on to greater things. They are playing in Europe as well. So he's going to be seen on a European scale. is in the Premier League, so everybody around the world is going to be watching him. He's going to be challenged, and it's going to be exciting. When they come back from international break, they play Sunderland, so at least he has a fairly comfortable fixture to potentially make his debut. Then they play West Ham before they play Liverpool, and then the real challenge starts when he plays against a team like Liverpool, and we really see how he can hold his own against the big boys in the world. But we've also seen him play in the La Liga, and he did quite well. So it's really, really important. I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs. I am big on Crisanto Uche now. Again, my only dilemma has always been his position, but the boy has shown that at least in the forward position he can hold his own. And if they choose to play him as a midfielder, we have to see how he performs there. I'm happy again, another Nigerian player in the English Premier League. It makes me very happy. And I think that this can be a big, big, big year for Nigerian players in the Premier League. I think we have about 8 or 9 of them right now. This can be a big year for our players in the English Premier League. I'm really, really looking forward to it. But congratulations to Crisanto Uche. I know that he's a humble guy. He works hard, and I'm looking forward to his debuts when he plays for Crystal Palace. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, I have some comments. Let me take very, very quickly. Fire Moment says Cristiano Uche's rise needs to be studied. I'm really happy for him. Can't wait for his debut. I'm proud of what Glasner is set to do with him. Real K says Uche will be a revelation in the Premier League. Good signing, Crystal Palace. Somebody is asking, Adedamola says, don't you think it was early for Uche to leave Getafe since he's only had 1 year of experience at professional level? You know, I will say this. Is it an early move? Yes. Does it mean that it was the wrong time to move? No. Sometimes you have to strike while the iron is hot. Getafe wants to sell, the player wants to move, a good opportunity comes for the player trusts in himself, then there is no reason for him not to take the chance. If it was that he wasn't good at Getafe last season and he's making a move, you can say maybe he's not ready for the challenge. But he was good at Getafe and now he's making the move. And why I also don't think it's too early is because it's not like he had one decent season and he's joining one of the biggest teams in the world where there's going to be so much pressure and there's not going to be time. But Crystal Palace will give him the opportunity to develop. They know he's a young player, and there's also not going to be that much pressure on him to deliver. You know, if he's joining Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal, where there's pressure, there'll be, you know, big expectations for him. But at Crystal Palace, even if he takes 5 matches to get going, nobody is really going to talk much about him like that. Look at Daichi Kamada, who's there, who has played, I think this is second or third season at Crystal Palace, has still not got going. Nobody is talking about Daichi Kamada and criticizing him or anything like that. So Crystal Palace allows him to be able to navigate under the radar and just do his thing and develop steadily. So yes, he moved early. One professional year, he's going to the Premier League, but still, I think he has the tools, he has the physicality, he has the ability, and he also has the drive to do well in that league. I'm not mad about it at all. Smith Layi, I don't know how you feel about that. Do you think it was early?
No, I don't think it's early. I think you have to strike the iron when it's hot, and that is what he did. You see, he's not going to join Man City or join Chelsea. That is going to get baptism of fire. Or he's joining Man U. That guy, we're talking about him every week. He's joining Crystal Palace, a team that can actually develop. He can develop very well. You know, he's also going to be in London, so he can enjoy the life in London. So for me, it's not a bad move for him. I think it's a good move. As a guy, is a fighter. If you check the content he did for Getafe, so that he's the 5th best player in the history of Nigeria.
So bad.
Yeah, he's a guy that believes in himself very well. He's a guy with a big heart. Yeah.
All right. Comments here from Environment. It says, my Saturday just got busier. When I'm not watching my club, I'm turning to either of Tolu, Iwobi, Chukwueze, Uche, and the others. I can't wait, man. What a time. Yes. If you're a fan of Nigerian players, you're a fan of Premier League.
I think I need to buy a different screen again. So
that you can be watching multiple games, exciting times. Smilai, let's also quickly just talk about a transfer that did not happen. Ademola Lookman, Atalanta. It seems like unless he decides to go to Turkey, or unless he decides to terminate his contract, or he decides to go to Saudi, it looks like Ademola Lookman is going to be staying at Atalanta. How do you feel about this? What do you think?
He's sad, and I think I don't know his mental state now, but I think it's very, very sad that what was promised wasn't fulfilled. I know it's business. You cannot blame Atlanta. They want money too. They're a small club. So they realize that they can only get money. For them to get 60 million, 50 million on the it's even too good. Saudi Arabia. They want to get something similar on Dukman too.
Mm.
But it's just very sad that it didn't actually what materialize. I know that maybe somebody is there. He told me that I decided the window that Lukman will not leave Atlanta. I was like, with all these offers, say he will not leave. He said, watch out. Now it's looking as if Lukman will not leave. I felt, very sad, but I just think that he should clear his head. He's coming to Nigeria now. He should clear his head and start again with Atlanta. I'll prefer him to stay in Atlanta than I'm hearing that Galatasaray are already exploiting ways to sign him. Please and please don't sign him. God, I beg you for God's sake, don't sign him. Don't sign him.
What if it's just 1 season loan?
No, we don't want that 1 season loan. Before they'll go and build something in the sky now. Say, wait for us. Wait, please, wait. Then he will now wait again. We don't want that, please. We don't want that. That 1 season loan, that's what we saw about Victor Osimhen. 1 season loan done to, he said, it's over my house for so many years to come. Please, Galatasaray, please, for God's sake. Let's see what it should be campaign now. You and Fenerbahce, please don't bid for him. Please, for God's sake, let him just in Atlanta. Maybe by January we move. Please.
Okay, it's so interesting because I wish that they were able to find a solution to his problem. I know that Lukman would rather not be there. They know that Lukman would rather not be there, but I guess they just feel like they were not going to let him go for less than what they feel like he should command. I was comparing him earlier to Yohan Wissa. Yohan Wissa just joined Newcastle for 55 million. Yohan Wissa is older than Ademola Lookman. Yohan Wissa, is also an African player that is also going to be going to the AFCON. And Yohan Wissa only has 1 year left on his contract, whereas Lookman has 2 years left on his contract. So if Yohan Wissa can command that amount of money, you would wonder why can't Ademola Lookman command that amount of money? It's unfortunate because these Italian teams are, broke clubs and are low balling. But I think Lookman's agents, I don't know if they were not working hard enough. But they should have been able to find a move for him, in my estimation. But now that he's there, he's going to have to get back to work. If Atalanta tell him to come and play, he legally has to play, otherwise they'll just keep finding him. I don't think that he would want to go 6 months of not collecting salary because they are finding you your salary non-stop like that. So he'll probably have to go back to work, and then maybe January he can find a move. By January, some teams would have been struggling. Maybe some teams their striker would have injured, or maybe they signed a striker, the striker is not delivering, or a forward or something, and then they will say, okay, we need to go and make an emergency signing, and they can get him. But last, Galatasaray.
I beg, I see. Don't give them publicity, Don't give them publicity. I beg. They should not go near him, I beg.
Look, man, at the scene, it will build their chemistry.
No. Don't work chemistry in the Turkey.
But it's interesting. Let's see what happens, man. I just hope that he's in a good enough mental state because he's about to resume camp. For the Super Eagles. I hope that he's in a good enough mental state to play. If he's not, they might have to give him a rest, and trust other players. But I hope that he's able to, stay. And I hope that he has been staying fit, and staying active. Even though training fitness and match fitness is two different things entirely. So maybe he might not be able to start, but at least we hope that he's still going to be able to get us reasonable contributions because he's a player that we rely on and we know what he brings to the team when he's at his best. A lot of people are laughing. People don't want him to go together.
No. So two our best 2 players now in Turkey. No.
All right. That's that on Ademola Lookman to Galatasaray. Is there any transfer that we're missing? Anything that anybody wants us to talk about quickly? Or
I don't think
I think we covered all the bases.
Yeah.
I wish our Nigerian players all the best. This summer transfer window went from very underwhelming to decent, to quite good at the end of the day. We did not have any blockbuster transfer. For me, the most exciting transfer that happened this summer is Ajibade to PSG. But on the men's side, the most exciting transfer for me is Uche to Palace.
Hmm.
You know, for me on the men's side, the most exciting transfer is Uche to Palace.
Yeah.
I cannot lie to you. I did not think that after one season Uche will be playing for Crystal Palace in the English Premier League. Arokodare's own is a lot more predictable because he has played 2 years in Genk. He has won the highest goal scorer. It was a lot more predictable. But Uche, I didn't think he will have this kind of meteoric rise. Smith Layi, which transfer for you is most exciting?
I think I have to agree with you. I think it's Uche, you know, and I think this is the best move for Nigeria. And unfortunately, we are saying that the move to Palace is the best move. Well, that is where we are now, you know.
That's where
That's
we
where
are.
we
We,
are. That's
we
where
have
we
to deal with our reality.
yeah, we have to do the reality. So move to Palace is the best move. That's where we are. That's where we are. I was expecting that Victor Osimhen's move is going to be the highlight of the summer's move. And look, man,
Mm.
but unfortunately, the two did not live up to expectations. So I think it's Uche.
Mm. All right.
Uche closely with Tolu.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. I think that's that on the summer transfer window. Wow, it's been a good one, man. And of course, we still are going to see some deals in the next few days. Maybe Dennis Ehanacho, some other free agent
Mhm.
players. You know, some people going to Turkey. Somebody said, "What is the most underwhelming transfer?"
The most underwhelming transfer. Mhm.
If you
Mhm.
talk now, some people go vex. So
They know why. They know the answer I want to mention.
we are talking. Like, what's the answer?
I think it's Boniface.
Hmm.
I think I don't expect. I don't think I don't know. Maybe somebody is here. He was telling me, Boniface is Lingo. I said, God, it should not happen because I think that with this Leverkusen sacking thing, after just 2 games, I think a new coach might give me like a new lease of life in
Hmm.
Leverkusen, and they go play in Champions League. So now our Champions League team reduced by one again.
Hmm.
So yeah, I
I
think
think for me, I'm going to go with the other Victor Osimhen. I think that's the most underwhelming transfer. Big hype, big expectations
Mhm.
to end up in Turkey. It's just
Okay.
not.
If Osimhen, which one would be better? If Osimhen moved to Bremen, Osimhen moved to
Osimhen is
yeah,
bigger than Boniface now, so we
yeah,
can't
bigger
we
than
can't
Boniface. Yeah,
we can't talk about him moving to Werder Bremen. Boniface has had a tough year,
it's tough.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But like, if they are talking about somebody joining Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, like Barca, those were the teams that we were hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And then for him to not end up in Gala is like, come on now, come on. It's like I tell you that, oh man, I'll take you to America, then I fly you to Togo. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was just very underwhelming. On the face of it, it's not like he joined a terrible team, but considering the hype, the expectation versus the reality,
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, Osimhen's zone was the most underwhelming. I know people would have all sorts of opinions on it, you know, so we wouldn't get into it too much. Okay, let's talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do, guys, I just want to remind you, if you are watching, please make sure you hit the like button. We have a lot of people that are watching. Less than 50% of you have liked the video. So please do us that favor. Hit the like button now. Hit the like button now. Just take 1 minute. It costs you absolutely nothing. Costs you absolutely nothing. And of course, if you want to support the channel, feel free to leave a super chat. Would largely appreciate it. If you want to ask us a question, if you want us to talk about something in particular, leave your comment with a super chat so that we can highlight your comment on the screen and then we can answer your question or we can talk about the thing that you want us to talk about. Or if you just want to support, you can also leave a super chat or a super sticker. And God bless you as you do so. Thank you very much. And oh, one more thing. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Lots of exciting content coming up. Super Eagles content, Super Falcons content, Nigerian football player content, interviews, weekly podcast, and so much more. So yes, please do that. Please do that. Subscribe. Okay. Super Eagles of Nigeria. Super Eagles are back in action. Our players are already on their way. I saw Aino and Basi at the airport. Iwobi will be traveling. You know, other players have been making their way to Nigeria for our upcoming World Cup qualifiers. We are in crunch time. We only have 4 games left in World qualifiers, and 2 of them are going to play this month. On September the 6th, we play against Rwanda, and on the 9th of September, quick turnaround to face South Africa in South Africa. The squad was announced. Eric Shell's 23-man team for these games. Goalkeepers Stanley Wabali, Amaso Basoge, Adebayo Adeleye. Defenders William Trustekon, Calvin Bassi, Olaino, Osai Samuel Bright, Bruno Yemechi, Chidozia Waziem, Felix Agu, and Benjamin Frederick. Midfielders Alexi Wobi, Frank Onyeka, Wilfred Ndidi, Fisadele Bashir, Rafael Ongedika, and Chrisantos Uche. Forwards Ademola Lukman, Samuel Chukwueze, Victor Osimhen, Moses Simon, Cyril Dessers, and Tolu Arokodare. Smith Layi, what are your thoughts on the Super Eagles squad for these two matches?
Good list, good list. I don't think we can really complain about this list. I think this is one of the lists that we cannot really complain about. I think, when we previewed the 31-man list, we realized that majority of the players we picked actually made the cut. So for me, this is like one of the most balanced lists, in recent time. So I don't think there's any complaint here, There's no Disadek Kumar of this world. There's no Alassane of this world that can actually spark any reaction. I just think that is a decent list.
Let's talk about some omissions. Ebenezer Harcourt was removed from the list. Some people feel like he should have been called up ahead of Omasoge or something like that. Do you think it was a good decision to remove Ebenezer Harcourt?
Yeah, I think both of us. Okay, I think I removed him. You did not remove him actually. But I think that what do you want to offer? Okay, we should go and play with our 17 and our 20. I think it's right to actually remove him. All these things. Football is very funny. So if somebody just got injured, then would you trust, and say Ebenezer what you actually would come on? It's going to be very tough. So for me, I think it's good that he got his name there. Maybe that one can actually help him, confidence level. But I think to make the final 2023, I think is too far-fetched. Yeah.
I would agree with you. I was initially saying that I feel like they should have selected him just because we don't have that many goalkeeping options. But the reality of it is, like you rightly mentioned, God forbid something happens, somebody gets injured. Can you actually trust Ebenezer Harcourt to go in goal in a crucial qualifying match against South Africa or against Rwanda? Probably not. So I understand his omission. If they want to bring him in, they should bring him in during friendly season. And then from there, he can try and then we can see how he does. Another player that was removed from the initial list was Igor Ogu, and they rather selected Chidozie Awaziem and Benjamin Frederick. Do you feel like Igor should have been there, or was it a good decision to select Awaziem and Frederick ahead of him?
No, I think, I don't know, maybe I dropped him too, but after the London, the 2 games in London, he didn't really cover himself with glory. I have to be honest with you, because as a player that we have been beat up on, that you have more even experience. You played at 20 level for Nigeria before. You played in the Champions League, Europa League before, for your club. I think you also won the league. You should be more commanding. Instead they are commanding him. So that was just the difference. I just think that and it's very rash. So the composure level is not really there. Positioning wise is not really there. So I just think that he failed this audition in London, and I think that's the reason why he's not making the cut.
And then we also had for the forwards, we had Murphy, Nathan Teller not selected, Dessers, Arokodare selected instead. Do you think that they chose the right, selections in Dessers and Arokodare ahead of a Terra Murphy or ahead of maybe a Nathan Teller who could have offered something different for us? How do you feel about that?
For Teller, I think the issue is that I don't think he's interpreting the formation very well. So he showed against Jamaica, he's not really getting the formation very well. So I think that's the reason why they drop him. Initially, I heard that he was part of the 25 that was picked, but decided to go to trim that to 23 players. So him and Murphy, I think, initially made the cut for 25 players. But if it's going to be very hard for you to drop Arokodare, based on the fact that it's not as if he's appointed fully, when he played for Nigeria in those games. And he can offer something different. Maybe probably, towards the end of the game when you're looking for goals. And out of the players selected, I think he's the one that had the best order play, there. So maybe probably that one can't in his favor. So to Murphy, I just think that is a big omission, and it was said it was very close between him and Dessers. But because Dessers passed with flying colours, when he played under Eric Shea in London, and he worked with Eric Shea for like 10 days. So then somebody that's not even worked with Eric Shea before So I think it's better for him to pick this as ahead of Murphy. I think that that's the reason why they made that choice. So everything is based on the reason for that. So Teda, because he wasn't getting that formation very well, good player, wasn't getting that formation very well, and Murphy because he has never trained on direction. So
Yeah.
that's
I
what
think for this as is, I felt the exact same way.
yeah.
I like Terry Murphy, but the coach would not want to take chances on somebody that he has not worked with before.
Worked with before, yeah.
He would rather go with a Desas who he knows, who he has played well with. And I mean, Desas has not done anything to lose his spot in the team. He did well when he played. And I'm happy for Desas because usually now only friendly that they call him for. So at least he can get to play in a competitive game. And Arokodare, I always say this, and I used to say this about Polonwachu, previously as well. If you're selecting three strikers, I think that you need one tall striker, just something different. That if you're chasing a game, if you desperately need a goal, you can bring the ball, you can bring the player on for them to, get some crosses, knock the ball down for other people, or get, some headers towards the goal. So I think that's what Arokodare brings. Osimhen, we know Osimhen is a very direct, aggressive, clinical striker. Teremov and Mada Ciro Desas is more of a striker that can, that has good movement, that can play with his feet a little bit, can score goals from the edge of the box, inside the box. And Arokodare brings that physical presence. It brings that height that if we need to desperately cross balls for him to hold up, for him to head down, he can provide that. For me, Arokodare will probably be third in my pecking order among the three strikers that made this final squad list. But I would pick him. If we've already decided to take Desas, then I would actually pick Arokodare as number 3 instead of Murphy because he brings something different than what the other two bring, especially at 6'6". He has that physical presence. So yes, overall, I think this is one of the most balanced Super Eagles squads that we've seen in a long time. Not many complaints. You cannot say anybody was picked because of one quota or the other, or because of one preference or the other. These are the players that are deserving. These are the players that have been playing well. The only asterisk for me would have been Benjamin Frederick, but I can understand the coach wanting to stick with him because he has brought him in and maybe he thinks he's a talented player and he wants him to continue to develop. The rest of the players, I think, well deserving of their inclusion in the national team. I can't really complain about this list. Viral Moment says, I sense 99% control of Eric Shell in this list. Anyone agree with me?
Yeah, 100%.
Hmm.
I agree. You can see clearly that this is work.
Okay. So, Smith Layi, with that being said,
Mhm.
on September the 6th,
Yeah.
the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be facing Rwanda.
Mhm.
This Rwandan team, we've had issues with them in the past, but we faced them in our last window and we dispatched them comfortably 2-0.
Mhm.
Looking forward to this game now being played in Uyo. Crucial match for the Super Eagles because we need maximum points in this window to really keep our world qualifying hopes alive.
Mhm.
What are you expecting to see in this game? How do you think the Amavubi will set up? How do you think the Super Eagles should set up? What should we watch? Which players should we pay attention to? Who can be our jokers? Give us your overall thoughts on this match.
So for me, I think, like you said earlier, despite that we beat them 2-0 in March, doesn't mean that they are walkover. Because we lost to this same Rwandan team last year. 2-1 in the final game of the AFCON qualifier. When we took the lead to Chukwueze and we considered 2 quick goals. That actually what that was really actually what terrible in Uyo. So for me, since then, a lot of things have changed. We've moved on from Oscar Gravon to a new coach, Eric Shell. They've also moved on to a new coach too, which is and Amushi, their Algerian Belgian coach. So what I observe about this Rwandan team is that they still have a chance of qualifying the World Cup. They know that, there's still this 3-point hanging in the air that South Africa is claiming is there. So what is claiming is there. It's still hanging there. You know that it can still be open. And they don't want to, if they cannot get the top spot, they can get second spot. How can I do that? They can be able to get results, against big teams like Nigeria and South Africa. So, if you look at the way the Rwanda play under this man, they are more defensive coach, defensive team. They like to sit back and try and eat their opponent on the counter. And when I saw their game against Algeria in a friendly game, I think that was in April, was in June. played against Algeria twice. So against they beat him for Algeria, made up of the best player, and also the pro in Algeria. The guy set up in a 5-4-1 formation. So in a way that he could absorb the pressure and also be able to counter Algeria. So for him to try that formation against Algeria, I think that is what he wants to do in Uyo, because his next game will be Uyo. So that's what he wants to. That's what he wants to do in Uyo. So I expect the game to be like a very cagey, one-sided game. So I see it like Nigeria against Libya. I don't know, maybe you remember the game, Nigeria against Libya, that it took Dele Bashiru and 80-something minutes to actually to break them down. It could go to that way, honestly. So we just have to take our opportunity and make sure that we dispatch them very quickly, because if we have to we have to labor up to break them down. We have this very big game in 30 days time, against South Africa. So I think that we should take our opportunities, but it's going to be a very, very tough game. So we need players that can open them up quickly.
I mean, I'm looking at this game and I think, we cannot be talking about Nigeria as if we should not be beating a Rwandan team. It's not going to be easy. We faltered in the past, but Eric Shell just needs to set the team up well, and the players need to come with full focus. I think that we have more than enough quality. We need to be very decisive in our actions in this game. Rwanda will probably try to be compact, try to be organized, and try to see how they can limit the opportunities for us. But I think this is where our players need to take the initiative. They need to be decisive. They need to know exactly what they need to do and when they need to do it. If you have the opportunity to run at somebody, run at them. Look up, play a good final ball. Osimhen would always find spaces in the box. Try to find him. Decision making is very, very, very important. Very important. And at the same time, while we're attacking and we're trying to score those goals, we have to be alert in the transition. We know that Rwanda, they're not going to go there and try to outplay us. That's not what they're going to try to do. But they are going to try to capitalize on any transition opportunity that they get and try to get the ball to their forwards quickly and see how they can capitalize and score goals. Like you rightly mentioned, when we lost to them 2-1, it was from just two very quick goals out of nothing, long ball, a defender not concentrating, they get in behind and then they scores. We cannot afford those kinds of situations. We are currently fourth in our group. Rwanda are currently second. While we might think that, oh yeah, we are the ones that are supposed to go and compete with South Africa for the top spots, Rwanda will be looking that maybe they do have a chance. And we have to go into that game. I think we need to try to score an early goal and just kill their belief and kill their hopes. And then the players need to just stay disciplined and professional throughout the match. I believe in the ability of the players. I think we'll do very well. Rwanda would continue to play with their key players, the likes of Innocent Nshuti, the likes of Tuare Fakri and Tuare, their goalkeeper, who was a wall, when we played against them the other time. But again, I don't think that we need or we have any reason to really be worried. Bizimana will try to run their midfield for them, but we have more than enough quality. We do have more than enough quality. Ademola Lookman might not start the game because he's not match fit, but even if it is Moses Simon, Chukwueze, Alex Iwobi, Wilfred Ndidi, I still think that there is more than enough quality for these boys to put in a quality performance and to run the game. Just don't make any silly mistakes. Just don't give them any cheap opportunities. Just don't lose concentration. You are playing at home, you are playing in front of your home fans. So the support is going to be behind you. Everything is going to be set up for you to just go there and perform. I'm really, really looking forward to this match because if we win this match, we're going to carry our momentum into the second game against South Africa. Whereas if we don't win this match, spirits are going to be down, fans are not going to have faith, the mood is going to be low, and it can influence the second game in a negative way. So this match is very, very, very important for us to keep our hopes alive, for us to continue to believe, because I want to believe till the very last moment that we will still qualify for the FIFA World Cup. And I think that the players know what is at stake and they just need to go there and deliver. They just need to go there and deliver. Smilai, what kind of setup, what kind of lineup do you think would be best for Eric Shell to go with in this match?
I've been hearing things about because some players on yellow card, they should start some players, they should not start some players. For me, I think there is always morning before afternoon.
Hmm.
If there's no morning, there will be no afternoon. So if we cannot beat Rwanda, then what are we saying in South Africa for? That means that it's going to be effort in futility. So I think we should need to beat them with our best team. But with the special instruction, be very careful. Don't give up on unnecessary with the yellow card. I know Basi is the aggressive one. Ekong is the guy that sweeps up all the dirty works. So that means that Basi is liable to get what? Yellow card. But I just think that Kevin Basi needs to be very careful, so that they won't pick up any card there. But I just don't see any of Undidi and Kevin Basi not having yellow card that game. So them yellow card. I don't see if Kavasi not have one, they go chop one. Because he's a strong man. He likes you to feel his presence. So it's just tough. But for me, I will line up in a 4-1-2-1-2 system, similar. Because when I'm playing at home, I want to open them up on a regular basis. I'm hearing that Eric Chell too is contemplating a 3-back system, in one of the games, because he's scared that some of these guys don't defend well in certain situations. So he wants to make sure that if we are creating opportunity, at least we are also solid, in our back system. So I think he's contemplating a 3-6-1 formation.
3-6-1. How are those six lining up? 2 wing backs. 2 wing backs. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 wing backs, and the diamond is diamond.
And then the diamond in the middle.
Yeah, diamond in the middle. So the diamond in the middle is going to use that one to overwhelm the opposition midfield, to outnumber them in the midfield. Then there's going to be a spare right wing back and left wing back, to overwhelm them in the middle. There's at the tip of the diamond, it's going to be close to the striker. So when you're dominating, it's going to be very close to the striker. So the numbers in the midfield is to overwhelm the opposition. It's okay, and you still have 3 spare center backs at the back. So the right center back will be able to play as a right back if needs be, and also the left center back can play as a left back if needs be. So it's just the numbers just to overwhelm the opponent in the middle of the box, in the inside of the field. So for me, I will not start with that against Rwanda. I will look for a way to get the ball to the forward line on a regular basis, like against Zimbabwe, with a more clinical. If I'm more clinical, we should be winning the game in the first half. But the problem is just that Rwanda will not give us space the way Zimbabwe give us space in that game, because Rwanda will play as in a 5-4-1 formation. So it's gonna be a very, very tough, very, very tough game. But I think that if we can have different way of scoring than crossing the ball, I think we'll beat them. It's comfortably.
A different way of scoring
than looking for a way to cross the ball.
So our midfield options would have to be, decisive.
So in the many factors. So let me just put my hand up. So Kevin Basi, Ekong should start center back. Nwabali should be in goal. Right back, Ola, Felix Agu second, because I believe Felix should play that game, because if you don't want to throw him the war front against Africa in Bloemfontein, this is a game that he can acclimatize with the boys and play with Basi. That it's going to be less pressure on him. He cannot play me in South Africa to start in South Africa. It's going to be very hard. He used to play with them first. So I think in the midfield, I think Wilfred should, maybe we can excuse Wilfred in that game, in that type of game. Maybe Onyedika should be able to play this game. Come on. If he's fit, if we are hyping him that much, he should be able to play it against Rwanda. So for me, I think Onyedika should play. Then the 2 in front of Onyedika should be Onyeka and Dele Bashiru. Why Iwobi should be at the tip of the diamond. Why the guys up front should be Simon and Osime.
No Samuel Chukwueze.
I want Bashiru to play because what Bashiru adds to the team is goal scoring. I'm not sure Chukwueze will
Didn't
do
you
that.
see Chukwueze's beautiful goal the other day?
No. I just think that those cutbacks, Dele Bashiru will finish more than Chukwueze. You know that we get those cutbacks in this formation. On a regular basis, we got those cutbacks. We got like about 5 or so cutbacks against Zimbabwe. None of them could finish it. So I think those cutbacks. I think Bashiru will finish those cutbacks. So we just need somebody that can finish more. If we are having Iwobi, with due respect to him, he cannot finish, that much. So and I have to choose between Chukwueze and Iwobi. I have to choose Iwobi.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I think right now, as I think about it, I think my lineup, I would just quickly say, I think we go with our strongest team. In my opinion, Ndidi is more likely to get booked than Calvin Bassey. Because Calvin Bassey is playing center back. If he's aware that he's on a yellow card, he doesn't necessarily need to put himself in any precarious situation. Ndidi is the one that is going to be trying to sweep up in midfield, trying to cover the gaps. So he's more likely to maybe foul somebody on a break. And once you foul somebody on a counter attack, it's almost like an automatic yellow card. So I think Ndidi is the one that is more likely to get yellow. Alex Iwobi is also on a yellow, so that's something else that we need to watch. But I think you still go with your best. You still go with your best legs. For me, I would go with a 4-2-2-2 formation, similar to what we've been seeing Eric Shell play. Nwabali will be in goal, Felix Agu on the left, Olayan on the right, Basi and Ekong. I think I would have to 100% agree with that defense. I will still start Wilfred Ndidi, and I'll allow Iwobi and Onyedika to play on either side of him, or Iwobi and Dele Bashir to play on either side of him, because I think Iwobi has to be in the team, and I think Ndidi provides that tackling, cleaning up in the midfield. I understand when you say Onyedika should be able to do it, but Onyedika doesn't do it at the level that Ndidi does it. Onyedika is more comfortable on the ball than Ndidi, but that's sweeping up, that tackling. And while we expect to go and dominate the ball and dominate possession against Rwanda, you don't want to leave yourself completely unprotected. That's Ndidi is our.
In case the ball gets to the edge of the area, who will you put your money on that can shoot?
Between who?
Ndidi and Onyedika.
It's already kind of that I would choose if it was between of them to shoot. But Ndidi does not have to worry about getting to the edge of the box. That's why I'm saying Ndidi plays and allow what was it called? Allow Iwobi and Dele Bashir to.
I let me tell you something. If you have studied Uche very well, when opponents sit deep, his defensive midfielder make runs to the box. Go and check the way Ndidi have been making runs during this match.
Yeah. I mean, Ndidi has gotten, even there's a brilliant opportunity that he missed
against Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. He will get there, but for me, I still think you're not going to lose out on the defense side of the game because you want the potential extra in attack. For me, it's like no matter who Chelsea is playing against, Moises Caicedo is going to play. No matter who Liverpool is playing against, they would still play a McAllister, because they provide you that solidity in the midfield. So me, I would stick with Ndidi. I would play Iwobi and I would play Dele Bashir maybe. Then I'll play Simon Osimhen, and I would have said Chukwueze because Chukwueze has been doing well under Eric Shell. But the fact that Chukwueze is yet to play this season, maybe that's a reason for Chukwueze to be on the bench. He's yet to play. So let's say Ndidi, Iwobi, Onyeka, Dele Bashiru, Simon Osimhen. Maybe I'll go with that. So Ndidi, Onyeka in the middle, Iwobi to the left, Iwobi to the left, Dele Bashiru to the right, and then Osimhen and Simon can play off of each other. I think that's what I would go with.
Yeah. So if things did not go your way as a coach, AyoT, and you want to look back at a joker to win the game for you, who will you turn to?
Ademola Lookman. If I'm not starting Lookman is going to be my Joe. If
Okay.
things are not going well, Mola, suit up, man. Get
I
ready.
will bring on Lukman Chukwueze.
Come and win us this game. Yes, Ademola Lookman Chukwueze for sure.
Triple sub and Uche.
Those will be the guys. Uche, yes, Uche as well, because driving the ball forward, trying to break that line. I think Uche can provide some quality.
What if you are leading and you still want somebody to get the goal on the counter for you? Who will you bring? Lookman, yes.
Lookman. You know, but if I'm leading, so let's say we take a comfortable 2-0 lead going into the break. I wouldn't make changes yet. You know, I would wait for maybe 65
minutes
to see how it is going. And then I'll give certain people a rest. You know, like I can take off Dele Bashiru and bring on Uche. You know, I can take off I'll probably leave Obi on the field. I can take off Simon and bring on maybe Lookman, you know, something like that. But I think there's opportunity to make some changes. I don't think, unless it is 1-0, I'm not going to switch to a defensive stance unless it is 1-0. You know, if it's 1-0 and it's already and even if it's 1-0, I'll wait until like 80 to really, really now take off, because obviously if it's 1-0, you take off attacking players, you bring on defensive players. If they now equalize 1-1, now you don't have enough attacking quality to go and score.
Again.
A second goal. So it's unless maybe like 80th minute and it looks like we're not really going to score, then I'll sub off maybe somebody. I'll bring on maybe an Onyedika, bring on that extra body in midfield to come and help to protect a little bit. You know, I think on the right side, Osayi Samuel is always going to need help. So I always just make sure that I have someone close to him on that right side, always trying to help him. Dele Bashiru might tire out, so you might want to take him off and bring on fresher legs, you know, depending on what it is. If we're not chasing the game, I might not even play Chukwueze at all. If he doesn't start, you know, I might not even play him at all.
Chukwueze was playing Bluefonte because it's like
he likes South Africa. You know, so it's going to be interesting, but I think that the coach has a good group of players to select from. I think that there are possibilities, you know, the way that the coach likes to play makes it a little bit interesting. I, as a fan, I'm still really getting used to it and used to seeing us play like that. But some of the players seem to enjoy playing in that system. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. I think we should be able to go and get a 3-0 victory over Rwanda. You know, 2 first half goals, come and score one more in the second half. Ease it off. If we are able to score an early goal, score 1 goal in the first 15 minutes, set the tone. Let them know they are not here to play. I think if we score an early goal, it's only built for us to have a calm, comfortable victory. But if we don't score, the longer the game goes, the more nervous we get, the more confidence the Rwandans get. And that's something that I don't want to happen. But like, what's your own score prediction for that game?
I don't like predicting scoreline, but I just think that it's going to be 2-0 Nigeria. You know, I think it labored to get the first goal. Then, you know, the second goal is going to be a beauty. You know, just they will open up, then we just finish it quickly. You know, that is it. It's a 2-0 victory. This time around, I'm suspecting a rejection into a 3-back system when we have scored.
Where we scored 3K, and then it can.
Experience will be ringing on his head.
That's the thing. Eric Shaw needs to make good decisions in this game, because we know how that previous game. Because if we had won that Zimbabwe game, things will be looking quite different right now. You know, but he was chasing the goal differential. Hindsight is 2020. Now he will say, "Oh man, I shouldn't have done that." I'm sure he will make different decisions this time around. One goal, take your win is better than going to
this time around. I don't think goals different will play Euro.
Yeah, it's going to be about the points. Real case is we have the players for that 3-6-1. I know an Agua swing backs, back three of Basia Kongawazi and Raphael Bashir and Uche, Simon and Usime up top. The only thing I see is that you didn't include Iwobi. I don't see how Iwobi does not start for Nigeria.
I think Iwobi will start.
You know, I don't see how Iwobi does not start. But yes, Viral Moment says we lack shooters. That is my fear. Dele Bashir is the only prime shooter in that midfield. Yeah, Iwobi's issue is that Iwobi will get to the edge of the box and he will be trying to side foot. But Iwobi does not like to blast shots.
The one that surprised me most is in Didi. The shot has gone weaker year by year.
from what he was doing when he was in Belgium.
Yes, indeed. You know, yes, indeed now.
Mm.
Yes, indeed. You know, against Stoke City. Yes, indeed. The banana shot. But now, anywhere, in fact, it's like a pass.
I hear you. Thank you guys for your comments. Much appreciated.
Somebody said I should tell you that why are you not giving them enough time to talk? I said that because he's someone that he told me that call him, tell him. I said, I cannot dictate how you're gonna run the program. Say 30 minutes, but 30 minutes, 30 minutes is too much. People have to go.
Because if you give people the whole world to talk like this, why we'll be here forever. We will not end. And the issue is that sometimes some people overshoot their time. Then by the time it gets to other people, there is not enough time for
yes. Yes, guys, make it brief, please.
Yeah. But if you want to air your thoughts, if you want to join the program, the link has now been posted. Just make sure you are fully clothed. Make sure you have your camera on. We can see you clearly, and we would like to hear what you think about any of the transfers that happened deadline day, and of course the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the squad, and then the upcoming match against Rwanda. We will try to give as much time as possible, depending on the number of callers that we have. But I want to say a big thank you for everyone that has been watching and listening to us so far. We've had a good number of people. If you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you have not liked the video yet, what are you waiting for? We're almost at the end. We're in the final 30 minutes. Hit the like button now. Support the channel. If you want us to answer a question that you have, if you want us to take a topic, talk about something that you are wondering, make sure you send your comments with the super chats. And if you just want to engage with us in the comments, feel free to engage with us. Yes, let's keep it going. Someone says Simon has been poor when he starts. He plays better when he comes off the bench. Okay. Another person says I will start Desas ahead of Simon. I wouldn't play Osimhen and Desas together from the start, to be honest. I would be curious to see how they will do. I feel like maybe they will get in each other's way a little bit. But yes, we have 2 people waiting to call. We'll see if any other people join. But let me allow you guys to get your thoughts in very quickly. Welcome, Homeland.
Yes. Greetings, AyoT and Smith Layi. Good analysis. Yes. Let's start from the transfer. My advice. It's like somebody who is going to a boarding school. All the players that are now moving, this is just the beginning. You have to forget about what happened in the past. Lock in. Prove us wrong. Chukwueze, please tell us that AC Milan wasted your time. Boniface, please prove me wrong that my analysis on you was wrong. Uche, tell me that the love you have is not fake, it's real for Nigeria. Arokodare, tell us that you are the best for Nigeria. Now, another thing I will also say is this. If Lookman didn't get any club and he is coming to play for Super Eagles, please, the NFL, the Nigerians, we should welcome him very well. We should tell him that, yes, you are still the number 1 in Africa. All hope have not lost. We should motivate him. Then another thing I want to talk about is the what is it called? The game against Rwanda. My prediction is 3-0. Yes, it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be 3-0. The only person I'm having problem is Onyedika. Yes. Why am I having problem with him is this. When you lose the ball, Mark, come and help. Don't wait. When you lose the ball, just come and help the defense. Semia Ajayi is not there. And Kevin Batty to play against Rwanda. Hmm. Well, it depends on the coach, but let's for me, I will say, coach, don't put him because definitely there is 70% chance that he's going to get yellow card. When he get yellow card and he go to what against South Africa, you know that the strikers of South Africa is better than the strikers in Rwanda. Let us check and balance. That is the only thing that I can say. But I'm so happy that the transfer so far so far as Africa is concerned, I think Nigeria made a good transfer this season. For us to have 3 players in Premier League, the new coming is a good one. That's the only thing I can say for now.
You know, I will ask this question and say, why do you think there's such a high probability of Calvin Bassey getting the yellow card? I was checking now; he has not been booked in his last 6 matches for Nigeria, so it's really not that high probability. Yes, he's a centre back, so there's always a chance. But the last time he got booked for Nigeria was in September 2024, playing against Benin Republic. You know, any of the 6 matches he played after that, he hasn't been booked. And before that game, he also did not get booked in the 5 before that. So he really does not get booked that often, like we're trying to make it seem. For me, I think indeed he's far more probable of getting a booking than Calvin Bassey. You know, and Calvin Bassey, I think against Rwanda, I'm not trying to disrespect Rwanda, but he should be able to do without getting a yellow card in that match. I think so. But Uche, your thoughts, please. Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
Yes, for me, in regards to the team, the reason why I would take out Ndidi is because of we need to keep a balance in the team. We need since we're playing against Rwanda, we need a midfielder that can actually tread the passes, that can spray the passes, and so you wouldn't want to play a flat-footed midfield. That would be to our own detriment if we're playing against Rwanda and we can't control the midfield. So you expect to use someone that is used to stringing passes. If you watch his games, especially during this qualification round in UEFA Champions League, you will see his passes are getting better. He even had an assist in the last game. So you see that he's getting better with his passes, and he's one player that can shoot from the box 18, and he will definitely complement Bashiru. Dele Bashiru plays as the if he in Lazio he plays on the left of the midfield, and so he would do the same thing. You have Rovella, you have what's his name Genduzi. So I feel like him playing on the left hand side, and also what's his name Onyeka playing as the eight. Onyeka would complement Onyedika more compared to using Ndidi. Ndidi will make that game flat footed, and I will probably use um Smith chose what's his name Moses. I feel Moses should come in the second half. We should use either Chukwueze or use Chrysanthus Uche in that regards, especially to support what's the name to support Osime. If you have two bulldozers in front, that is Osime and Uche, it will benefit us against a defense that is sitting back. Or you can use a fleet-footed player that is Chukwueze to dazzle his way through that defense. But Moses' decision making in that final third is suspect. That's the problem. When he's supposed to cut back, he doesn't know when to cut back. When he's supposed to drive in, he sometimes forgets to drive in. When he's supposed to uh like try out like a shot, he keeps on caressing the ball. So those are the kind of things you don't want to see, especially if you want to win this sort of matches. You need someone that is decisive, and I believe Chukwueze and Crisanto Suchi are more decisive compared to Moses Simon. And one thing I would like to also say is more like you remember the story of Dembele always staying up all night to play games, and it affected his output in Barcelona. And I think one of this guy, Ademola Victor, posted another link again today. It's like, Boniface is on Telegram playing games. Like, learn from your mistakes from prior time. Like, you can't miss
But
the
you,
two.
you you don't know if he's staying up all night to play games.
You know
No,
how
I think you
games
mentioned
are
something like
now.
that.
No,
You
but
mentioned
Games, you know
something
how
like that.
games.
That
But you, IoT, you don't play game now. You know how games they go. You go
no,
tell
I
yourself,
know,
say,
but I
you
mean,
go
it
tell
was.
yourself, say, okay, just one more game, one more game, one more game.
I
Then you
understand, but nah, it's only because he's streaming it. Football players are playing games all the time. They all have their mobile setups that they travel with. When they are going to Cambodia, Maribo, Iwobi, Aino, Basi, they all take their game consoles with them. You know, they travel for game to game, their game consoles. I think
yeah, I.
he's professional enough to know when he needs to take a break and when he needs to
Mm,
go and sleep.
but Dembele wasn't professional enough.
I mean,
That's the reason.
it can happen to one or two people, but I think it's too much of speculation to just assume that because he streamed for 2 hours today, that means that he's staying up on. It's not like he was streaming the whole day. If he plays
But,
game
but
for
you can, but you can,
if Iwobi could have played game for 3 hours today because he didn't stream it, you
but
wouldn't.
but you can remember Boniface of last 2 seasons. He was fast. His decision making was so
Yeah,
good, but you
injuries now,
compare it to last season.
injuries, confidence, dropped a little bit. I don't think we should make speculations
Like,
like playing game. Yeah.
okay, maybe I'm overthinking the
Yeah,
matter, but
I think it's a
overflogging it.
little bit of a
But
stretch.
we can keep covering and I feel like sometimes when you see certain things, you just try to change. You don't you don't repeat something expecting success when you know that thing has been giving you failure. You try to change
The,
your
the, the
modus
game did
operandi.
not the game did not cause anything that is currently going wrong. It's not
Okay,
because it's not because of
maybe
the game. It's not because of game.
because for me, I wish I because why I'm saying this is that I knew, like, I've been seeing his game since Saint Giloa, and there's been like serious, like,
Do you think he was
Boniface.
not playing game in Sengilwa?
But he was better in Saint
He
Giloa.
was just not streaming his games back then, so it's easier
always
for him
that they
to
do
do.
shop play space like all night. That's why
He
it's
said
getting injured quick, like every 2 minutes.
he said
No,
He said Luke Shaw plays
it's
game
always
all
like Luke
night.
Shaw plays game at
That's
night,
why
but it's still
Luke
good.
Shaw is playing with one leg.
No, but the thing is, footballers play games all the damn time. So for me, I think it's just a reach. There's no way for you to know if it's affecting him or not. Players play game all the damn time. I'm sorry, we need to stop trying to pick on every small thing.
Eh,
Like
well, I
I,
just want to give
I,
my own
I
testimony.
would not agree with that.
I want to give my own testimony. Since I stopped playing game, I've been delivered from. I'm more productive. I'm more productive. I can do so many things. I'm like to you, like what Uche said. See, and my brother is with you over there. You will now say he wants to join me. Hey, your time there is now. It's very late with me here. Hey, how down be scrolling. Yeah, let's go and play one game. So when he beats me in that one game, I say I go play. I go revenge. I'll be hearing people going for work in the morning. I say I will not try to
Well,
say.
I see. I understand it. But again, I think I like
I know. It
people,
might be so, it might not be so. So we can just.
people are professional enough to know.
But they really confessed that it was that really limited him.
That's one person. That's one person. Everybody has what they spend their time doing, and it's like you have work, you have children, you have family. You need to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
These players, they don't have anything other than football. By the time they play, but they train 3 hours in the morning, they get back home. They have the whole day to do whatever it is that they want to do. They have the whole day to do whatever it is that they want to do. If somebody chooses to play game for 2 hours, I don't think it's a bad thing. It is only because he's putting it in our faces that he's playing game.
So be turned to the
Even some of the times that he does the stream, he's usually streaming, and the people that he's playing with, Rafael Onyedika, will you say that games affect Onyedika? Because a lot of the time when he streams, Onyedika is playing with him. Just like Onyedika is not streaming on his own side. So it's Boniface's side that you're looking at. His game also affects Onyedika. A lot of the time he's playing with Tolu, Arokodare. That same Tolu is just making a move to the Premier League. So it's just because he's the one that is telling us, oh, come and watch me, I'm playing game. That's why it feels a bit different. But yeah, the other thing that I would say, Uche, personally, me, I think that the Moses Simon disrespect gets a little bit much. I know I sound biased because I have his jersey behind me, but I think that Moses Simon, to tell me that he's less decisive than Samuel Chukwueze, I really don't know. To tell me that you would trust him to break down a defense than Crisantos Uche, I really don't know, because I think that Simon has had some bad games. He has had um games where his output was not so great. I agree, bad decision making. But I think that when you're playing against a team that is sitting back, Simon is a player that can cause problems for any defense, even with his dribbling, cutting in, cutting out. He just needs to know when to play the final pass. Chukwueze's decision making is something that we know that we've questioned on so many occasions. So to now say that you wouldn't trust Simon, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit of
No, I'm not overstretching it. We saw the game against Zimbabwe. We even saw a game against Tunisia at the Nations Cup at AFCON. There are games you expect him to turn up. Like the one against Zimbabwe was I kept watching the game. I was like, wow, over and over again. There are games where he's supposed to just run diagonally into the box 18. He keeps expecting the ball, expecting the defense to recover before he makes his move. But we know if it's someone like Chukwueze will run directly. If it's someone like Uche will do the same thing. If it's at some point,
will run directly, then you try to cross as if there's a hole in the player's leg, and you will just kick it
see
against the player.
at some point I was wishing it was what's his name, Lukman that was with the ball, or Crisantos Uche that was with the ball, or even what's his name, Chukwueze. At least they will give you that dynamism, not you keep seeing it and you'll be like, he is good when he comes in second half, because by then he's causing chaos, and that is actually good for the team. But at the start of the game, and when you need goals, you don't need goal. You need goals. You expect that you need someone that is decisive. That's why I will always stay. For now, I'll take Crisanto Uche over
Okay,
him. But
fair
because
enough.
of the flair we need someone that has flair, someone that will do something different at the box. Then I'll take what's his name, Chukwueze. But we never can tell. I know the coach Chel likes Simon, so
Mm.
yes,
All right,
that's
no
another
problem.
thing.
Thank you very much, Uche, man. Nice to hear from you as always. I
Yeah,
appreciate it. All
right.
right, thank you. That was Uche with his thoughts on the game. Um, okay, we have two more callers and we'll wrap up for tonight. You guys will have 4 minutes each, so please stick to your 4 minutes. When your 4 minutes are about to end, I'll start playing music or I'll just mute your mic. So please, guys, 4 minutes each, and then we can call it a night. FM, welcome.
Hi, IoT, how
I'm
you
well,
doing?
thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey,
Yes, go ahead. What are your
welcome.
thoughts?
I'm Smith Layi.
Yeah, I get you
All
again. Yeah.
right. For me, I think I'm excited about the fact that in Fulham now we have three Nigerians. A defender, and I would say maybe Alex, a midfielder, and a forward in Chukwueze. And I'm just like imagine a match, maybe Fulham versus Liverpool, and Basi scores, Iwobi scores, and Chukwueze scores. I mean, that would be a very fantastic game for the Nigerians in Fulham. And for Boniface, I think that of course we wanted him to get a better club, right? But it didn't work out that way. And but the fact that I could actually still get a move in the Bundesliga is still something that I feel like is not bad, and I believe we should take the best advantage of that. And for our match, that's Nigeria versus Rwanda on Saturday. I'm confident that we're going to win. there are a lot of new players coming into the team. I mean, they might have played the Unity Cup, but they haven't really played the competitive game like a World Cup qualifier. A player like Uche wants to make a statement. A player like Cyril Desas will want to make a statement, even Felix Agu. So these guys are coming in, they are hungry, they want to, because they know that if they do well in these two matches, they would get to retain their spots. And you know how competitive the Super Eagles team is. So they will want to definitely make a very strong statement. And I think I also am very, the list that, Eric Chell brought out is more balanced in the sense that before we used to have like a lot of like number nine, I mean top striker, but now we have only three in the defense. There's like an extra option for each defender. So I think that's a very good one. Overall, I'm very confident that we're going to deal with Rwanda on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much. It's
All
really
right.
nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Is this your first time calling in?
Yes, but I've been watching for a while, but it's my first time
Ah,
calling in.
thank you, because I was like, I've not seen your face before. I appreciate you.
It's
Thank you
your
for
name.
joining
What's
us.
your name? Sorry.
My name is FM. So I have a question for Smith. Sorry,
FM, no be
Smith.
waiting.
What
Your mama call you now.
Femi? My name is Femi. Yeah, Femi.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm. Oh yeah, you have
Smith. I don't
one
know.
minute
I
to
have a
explain your
question.
question.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So why do you wear your dark shades? Is it that you're like Bruce Lee, or you're just trying to
No, no.
protect
I
the
just like
light
the
or something?
violence.
Hmm.
That's it. When you don't see me wearing it, that means that maybe probably Nigeria just quit out the World Cup. But that's Nigeria is not qualified, so we
Okay.
have to wear it.
I'll be looking
Yeah.
forward to you putting it off when we actually deal with South Africa. Take care.
Yeah. If you join my Instagram live, it's always off, but YouTube is on.
Mhm.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you very much, FM. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. That was Femi, first time caller. Much appreciated, man. Thank you very much. Make sure we see you next week and the following weeks. Okay. 4 minutes, Mr. Adino. So welcome, sir.
Welcome, my brother. So yeah, I've had choices with regards to the game against Rwanda. First and foremost, I don't think Bassi should play that game.
Mm.
When Rwanda knows that he is on yellow card, they will target him. If we know that there's a weird thing going on against Nigeria in these World Cup qualifications, it's best to avoid that yellow card to Bassi. To me, if indeed he can play that left side of the central defense, pair him up with Ekong and play Onyedika in front of them, Dele Bashiru with Uche can provide a lot of muscle to kind of shield the back for even before Onyedika shielding. They'll be the first layer of the shield. Up front, we can very much have Osimhen. Um, I wouldn't, honestly, if Lookman is fresh and very much with it fully, I will start Lookman, Osimhen, and Chukwueze. That's my starting 11 there because this lineup will very much backpedal Rwanda big time and get those early goals that we need. But putting in Basi for Rwanda game, I don't think it is wise, personally speaking, because they will target him no matter if he has played 1,000 plus games with no, yellow cards. This particular game is different because he is carrying a yellow card that the opponents know about. They will target him. That's my own take about it. When it comes to the um, transfers, with Humble Henry and Uche on that one, the transfers has been very favorable to the Nigerian Super Ego players. The only thing I can lament on is that it is overdue for Onyedika to step up. He needs to move to a bigger club that he will have a higher responsibility. That is when he can unlock his whole package of full potential. I do not think Bruges will do that for him.
Mm.
I
Okay.
know you guys are looking for scoreline. I'm not giving no scoreline today.
Well,
No,
you think we'll win?
I believe the game will be a if they play an all action game, it will be a 4-0 or 4-1 win. If they play an all action, full focus, I'm out to take pretty much take the hunger, show hunger. It will be a win. And if by God's grace we get a blessing, which I don't know if it will happen, but if it happens, great. If Lesotho is able to hold South Africa or even win them, that would be great.
They will not.
And what I would say is exactly what Smith just said, because if you're going to backpedal on the reporting of South Africa using an illegal player, I believe that team has no interest of qualifying for World Cup when they have a chance to qualify for World Cup.
Yeah,
That
and
is
they
how
don't
I
even say
think.
anything. They don't say anything. So for me, I just think that it's been the public Nigeria against South Africa.
Yes.
It's against Africa, Zimbabwe, and Lesotho. That's it.
Mm.
I
All
think
right.
Rwanda is neutral.
Mm. All right. Thank you very much. So I have to let you go now because we're out of time. But thank you very much. I appreciate you joining us
All
now.
right, bros. You guys have a good one.
All right. Okay. So supposed to be final caller, but because Michael came late, Michael, you're going to have half the time, so you have 2 minutes. So please make your thoughts as concise as possible. You already joined, so I want to allow you to speak. Welcome. 2 minutes, please.
Thank you. So 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. How do I do? All right. So first of all, I will say thank you. Second of all, I want to re-emphasize something I've said before. When we keep blaming the agent of Osimhen, blaming everything, the problem is that we try to look for the problem and then we look for somebody to pin down. It doesn't work like that every time. So I told somebody on either your show or in live show, I think it's Uche, I said, do you think that Lukman's agency is also a big agency? And he was saying, yes. Well, you see what is happening at the end of the day. Now we are now coming back to blame the same people whom we are taught that they are very big agency that will have helped Osimhen to move to Real Madrid. So we can't predict. Two, I will ask Nigerian players if it were possible for them to just shun Italian teams. How would the same player who failed medical, passed medical in Wolfsburg, similarly said they have thorough medicine
In Italy.
in Italy. Do you think that the Germans, most of the development in medicine were made by Germans because they used the Israelis as guinea pigs
Mm-hmm.
when during the Second World War? So most of the names that we have are the Nazi doctors. They are just removing some of their discoveries from medicine. For example, Retter's disease. You see, so we have good doctors too in Germany. Why did they take Boniface? So you should know that they did not just want him, and it's so sad that they just disgraced him for
Yeah,
nothing.
I
If you are
think it
not
was
going to take him,
disgrace.
don't do that. That's pure rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number two. For number three, um, IoT has said the best thing. Everybody is just fanning this Basis yellow card. How many times has he actually had yellow card in Nigeria? Let them try him first to see if he will have yellow card. So I don't agree with that. Four, I will never. How would somebody say that you think you will take Uche to be more sneaky than Simon? That is pure rubbish. That's not football. Football with what we have now. If I were to play, what's this so called? Rwanda. I've told Sidney Smith that they are going to come with 6-3-1. We are
Mm-hmm.
going to play them with 4.
3-2-1, and it will be the 2 and 1 will likely be the two at the back of one will likely be Iwobi and maybe Lukman, or Iwobi and Simeon, to play with Osimhen in front, so that we have three steady guys at the back, so that there's in the midfield, so there's no chance for counter attacks. So we have those three guys those two guys behind Osimhen who can come to join and make five in the midfield, so that you can also overwhelm their four or their three in the midfield, and then take the ball from there and go and score. So you can still have your base of somebody like what's his name again? Ndidi, and then Chrisantos Uche. I can use him easily there to help to mop up, because if Agu will run forward, I need somebody who is athletic who can help him cover that back. Because I fear that they may target that area, they may target that area if
10
Agu
seconds,
keeps moving
Michael.
forward. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
Sorry,
I ended up giving you the same 4 minutes that I gave everybody.
Oh, sorry.
just out of
Thank you.
the
Thank you.
number,
Thank you.
fine.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
thank you very much, Michael. Thank you for joining
Yeah.
us and
Thank
sharing
you
your
for
thoughts.
joining.
You know, it's been a pleasure hearing all of you guys, speak to us, hearing all your ideas, your thoughts on this thing. Obviously, opinions always differ. Sometimes when I disagree with certain people say, "Hey, IoT, you don't allow people to have their opinion." It's just I like football. You say something. If I disagree, I'll tell you. You don't have to agree with me. That's the beauty of an opinion. Everybody's allowed to have theirs. Even Smith Layi and I disagree sometimes. Sometimes we agree. It's all in good.
On Benjamin Fredericks.
People need to
Are you on Boniface?
people need to stop. People need to stop thinking that because I disagree with somebody, I'm saying the person must think the same thing as me. No, I'm just saying how I feel. You are allowed to feel how you feel. We can debate and we move on. Maybe one person's mind is changed. Maybe nobody's mind is changed. It's all part of the fun of discussing football and all these things. But yes, it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you for engaging.
But you and Ovu argument. Somebody need to study that one.
See, I don't want to say anything. May will not vex for me, but a lot of the arguments that we have.
You have argued for 3 years before.
Because Humble Henry is a stubborn guy, man. Humble Henry, his zone is that he does not like to think from a different perspective other than what. And Humble Henry is always so. He will say, "Hey, he's talking with philosophy." Or sometimes Humble Henry will say, "There's something that he always says that makes me laugh." You say, "You will not understand me." So I'm like, if we will not understand you, then what exactly? Now only you they talk, now only you they understand. But it's always so funny, man. Sometimes I just get tired. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this. But yeah, all love, man. Humble Henry, thank you for coming on the program yet again. So, like, a final word from you before we wrap up today.
No, for me, I just want the Eagles to, transfer is over now. But I don't know where I should ship in this thing. Why is that it's full house in South Africa and in Nigeria? Only maybe 4 or 5 players in camp.
Most South Africa, their players are not flying now.
But those that are foreign-based players flew in straight away.
Don't worry, our players will be there.
So, but I wish the Eagles the very best of luck, and all the best to them.
All right. Congratulations to every Nigerian player that moved, man. Even the ones that we forgot to mention. I didn't mention on this show. I didn't mention Bamdele Yusuf, who just joined Ferencvaros from Vojvodina. I didn't mention Ismail Taufik, who just joined Pogon from Gonik Zabzi.
But it's very playing Champions League.
Europa, I think.
Okay.
I also didn't mention Elijah Odede, who just moved from Sheriff Tiraspol to Troyes in the French Ligue 2. So, and every other player that moved throughout the summer, we wish you all the best. We're rooting for you. I'm happy Nigerian players done plenty for Premier League small. I'm happy about that. And for the free agents, the Mano Dennis's, the Kelechi Iheanachos, we look forward to seeing your next step in the future. And Super Eagles of Nigeria, it's time for camp. Everybody's flying in. We have 2 big games coming up, 2 games that could make or break our qualification chances for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So I hope that it is going to be an interesting one. I'm trying to organize to work with somebody to help us to create content from camp and from the game. So look forward to that as well. Stay tuned. If you are new to the channel again, subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot of exciting content around the Super Eagles and so much more. We're live every week, sometimes multiple times a week. So make sure you are locked in. Notifications are on so that you always know when we are here. Thank you very much, Smith Layi. It's been a pleasure as well. This has been the Naija FC Podcast. Another episode, another exciting conversation. As always, my name is AyoT. My co-host is
Smith Layi.